Bem-vindo, estou muito feliz recebendo uma amiga de nosso sítio, nosso canal de YouTube, senhora Mayra de Avis, e atriz de dançarina do Brasil. Olá, Mayra, como te va?
Oi,
Tudo bem?
tudo bem, Sherif?
Obrigado por aceitar a entrevista, muito obrigado. Há 2 anos publicamos uma entrevista em nosso site, MeetingVenus.com, e
Uhum.
agora, novamente, eh, quero saber al início, como primeira pergunta para nosso público, convidamos você novamente. Conta-nos brevemente sobre seu interesse e estudos antes de se tornar como artista profissional.
Como eu me tornei uma artista profissional, é isso?
Sim, como inicia seu interesse para ser artista profissional? E cuenta
Então,
seus estudos também, sim.
aham, eu comecei desde da minha infância. Na verdade, a minha mãe, ela é artista plástica, o meu pai também sempre gostou da área de artes. Na minha casa, eu sempre tive muito contato com filosofia, com museus, com cinema, sempre frequentei esses ambientes, então, desde muito cedo eu já gostava. E aos 10 anos de idade, eu comecei a cantar num coral de MPB, então eu comecei nos palcos cantando. E aí já tinha uma rotina de produção profissional, assim, a gente tinha ensaios, já recebia cachê. E mais adiante eu fui descobrir o teatro na própria escola. Eu estudei numa escola que valorizava muito isso também. E eu era uma criança muito tímida, assim, a minha voz não saía, mas quando eu subia no palco, ali eu podia ser o que eu quisesse, né? Eu acho isso da profissão do ator muito fantástico, porque você pode viver outras vidas, né? Totalmente diferentes, se permitir se colocar no lugar, né, de outras pessoas. E para mim foi realmente uma grande revolução, assim, foi algo muito terapêutico. Me ajudou, o teatro me ajudou muito na minha vida mesmo, social, a me expressar. E depois, já ali aos 14 anos, eu já sabia que era isso que eu queria fazer, né? Mas aí chegou o momento de decidir realmente qual a universidade, e no Brasil a gente tem um certo... A área de artes, ela não é uma profissão que é mais tão tradicional, né? Então, é difícil viver da arte no Brasil, assim. Então, eu fui escolher outra carreira, que é a psicologia. Eu sou psicóloga também, psicanalista, que foi o que eu consegui conciliar, né, com o trabalho de atriz. Então, hoje eu sou atriz, sou dançarina e sou psicóloga, psicanalista. Eu levo as duas carreiras ao mesmo tempo. É isso. Você ouviu o Sherif? Tá me ouvindo? Sherif,
Sim,
tá me
agora sim.
ouvindo?
Como você passou os últimos 2 anos durante a pandemia?
Bom, como eu passei os últimos 2 anos?
Sim,
Então, foi terrível, né, a pandemia, né? Acho que para o mundo inteiro. Mas aqui no Brasil, em especial, a gente estamos com esse presidente maluco, né? que foi totalmente contra a prevenção, ele foi anti-vacina, né? Então, a gente sofreu muito nesse sentido. Para mim, que como eu tenho a profissão clínica, né, como psicóloga, então eu acabei trabalhando muito na área de saúde, escutando as pessoas e as suas dores, né, porque muitas pessoas passaram muito mal durante a pandemia, e desenvolvi trabalhos meus como atriz, projetos meus. Eu tenho trabalhos justamente em cima dessa questão da saúde mental. É um projeto que eu mesma estou escrevendo, baseado, enfim, em histórias de mulheres. Que a gente vive uma grande pandemia, além da pandemia da Covid, veio uma nova pandemia que é a da saúde mental, né, dos transtornos mentais. A quantidade de pessoas com depressão.
Sim, muito do público tem como problema psicológico a depressão, coisas assim.
Ansiedade, né, dependência química. Então, é algo que, com a pandemia, aflorou muito nas pessoas. Pelas pessoas ficarem restritas em casa, então elas também tiveram dificuldades de convivência, então casamentos se desfizeram, como é que as pessoas conviveram com as crianças que não podiam ir para a escola, então ficava a família inteira, às vezes num cômodo muito pequeno, convivendo, e conflitos apareceram. Então, todas essas dificuldades, todas
Sim,
essas histórias,
sim.
eu
Como
aproveitei
vértigo,
a minha escuta para desenvolver trabalhos sobre isso como atriz. Então, tem projetos meus que eu estou desenvolvendo para o teatro e para cinema também, baseados em algumas histórias que eu escutei durante a pandemia da clínica. Mas, assim, para mim, eu fui muito privilegiada, porque eu pude, não afetou a minha vida, tirando a questão de não poder, né, sair, mas, assim, com certeza foi muito menos pior para mim do que para muitas pessoas. Assim, eu não fui afetada na questão profissional, por exemplo. Né? Não me
sim.
afetou.
E agora eu penso, você tem nova produção teatral, sim?
Então, sim,
Ah,
eu estou morando no Rio de Janeiro, né, atualmente. Eu nasci em Curitiba, que é uma cidade no sul do Brasil, e quando eu completei 26 anos, eu fui morar em São Paulo, pelo desejo de expansão mesmo como atriz, principalmente porque o eixo Rio de Janeiro e São Paulo são as principais cidades do Brasil, onde acontecem, enfim, os trabalhos artísticos, principalmente cinema, televisão, teatro, mais Rio e São Paulo, né? Então, eu morei em São Paulo há alguns anos e agora eu estou no Rio. E logo que eu cheguei no Rio, deu um ano, começou a pandemia. Tudo fechou. Então, assim, eu depois de 3 anos sem pisar no palco, eu fiz uma peça agora, estreou tem 3 semanas atrás, com o diretor Hamilton Vaz Pereira, que é carioca, que é do Rio de Janeiro. A gente ficou em cartaz e foi muito incrível, foi muito emocionante para mim voltar para o teatro depois de tantos anos, sem encostar nas pessoas, né? Porque o artista, o teatro em especial, ele é um ritual, assim, é muita energia que movimenta com o público, naquele instante com os outros atores. Eu lembro, assim, do primeiro ensaio, a gente saiu chorando, assim, emocionado, porque a gente passou
sim,
muito tempo sem saber quando a gente iria poder voltar a atuar, né? Se isso realmente iria acontecer, porque a gente precisa do contato humano, né? O teatro, ele precisa do contato humano, não tem jeito, né?
Sim.
Então foi muito
Como...
emocionante.
Qual é o seu personagem atual na nova produção?
Oi?
Tu
Nesse espetáculo?
Sim. Sim.
Eu fazia, né, esse espetáculo chama Bônus Demônia. É um texto e direção desse diretor carioca, que é o Hamilton Vaz Pereira, e ele é uma grande homenagem ao teatro, e ele fala também um pouco da mitologia grega. Então, eu tinha 4 personagens no espetáculo. A gente ia mudando de personagens conforme o texto vai andando, assim. Mas foi incrível, lotou todos os dias, foi um grande sucesso. O público estava também muito aberto para a arte, eu acho. Ficamos tanto tempo enclausurados que eu senti que o público queria ver, sabe? Queria nos ver, queria ver gente, queria tocar. Então foi muito incrível. Mas eu fazia 4 personagens. Eu fazia a Hera, a deusa Hera, fazia as bacantes de Eurípides. Sabe esse texto? É um texto grego, muito antigo. E fazia mais 2 personagens atuais também na
Sim. Sobre produção teatral no Brasil, anda o público tem interesse em ir aos teatros agora?
Como? Não compreendi, Sherif.
Há interesse público para teatro hasta agora no Brasil?
Sim, sim.
O público gosta de ir em teatro?
Se tem interesse do público em ir ao teatro. Então, a gente vive um pouco, eu acho que varia de cidade para cidade. No Brasil, eu sinto uma diferença das cidades do Rio e de São Paulo para outros ambientes, até cidades capitais como Curitiba, como mesmo Belo Horizonte, Salvador, Brasília, enfim, que são capitais, não tem tanto público como acho que em São Paulo e no Rio. Tem uma cultura maior de ir ao teatro. Infelizmente, é algo ainda, eu acho que pouco incentivado, e as pessoas às vezes não têm o hábito mesmo, sabe?
Sim.
Eu acho que existe o hábito maior de ir ao cinema do que ir ao teatro, por exemplo.
Sim. E agora, você tem como novo projeto de filme, de cinema, que está preparando este ano próximo?
Eu tô com... Então, durante a minha carreira, né, eu sou formada em Curitiba em teatro, né, e desde que eu comecei a vir para São Paulo, Rio, eu tenho feito algumas participações em cinema, em TV. Então, tem um filme que eu fiz uma participação que chama Eike, Tudo ou Nada, que vai estrear agora no final de setembro. E tem um outro filme que se chama Ensaio sobre o Fracasso, que é de um diretor chamado Cristiano Burlan. Ele, inclusive, ganhou um prêmio agora de melhor direção no Festival de Cinema de Gramado, que é um dos nossos principais festivais de cinema, no Rio Grande do Sul. Não sei se você conhece Gramado. Então, um dos maiores festivais do Brasil de cinema, esse diretor deste filme, que eu fiz uma participação, que chama Ensaio sobre o Fracasso, ele ganhou o prêmio de melhor direção por um outro filme que se chama A Mãe. Foi agora, a premiação faz 2 semanas. Então, este filme está circulando, Ensaio sobre o Fracasso, e o Eike Tudo ou Nada vai estrear agora no final de setembro. Os 2 eu faço participações, né?
Excelente.
Gosto muito do cinema, assim, eu sou apaixonada também. Eu gosto do teatro e do cinema. Eu acho que tem atores que gostam mais de uma linguagem ou de outra, né? Eu tenho a paixão, assim, pelas duas linguagens, assim. Gosto
Excelente.
muito.
Agora, Mayra, como atriz, dançarina, agora você tem como um personagem, como sonhos para você para interpretar no futuro?
Como é, não?
Como um caráter, um personagem um caráter, um personagem
Uma personagem
que
que eu
tu,
queira fazer?
sim, no futuro, sim.
Sim, eu já estou desenvolvendo esse projeto, inclusive, que é Clarice Lispector. Eu não sei se você já ouviu falar dessa escritora, é uma
Não.
escritora brasileira, ucraniana
Aham.
e naturalizada brasileira, Clarice Lispector. Eu tenho mergulhado na obra dela. Ela é uma das maiores do mundo, eu acredito. E é uma vida, a biografia dela ela é autobiográfica. Os livros dela, personagens dos livros dela se misturam um pouco com a vida pessoal. E eu sou muito parecida com ela, fisicamente.
Ah,
É... Então, esse é um presente.
sim.
E também a história dela é muito atual, porque a família saiu da Ucrânia durante a guerra. Então, a gente está vivendo
Sim.
hoje a guerra na Ucrânia. Né? A família da Clarice fugiu da Ucrânia também no meio de uma guerra e veio para o Brasil, quando ela era ainda bebê. Então, tem algumas coisas assim que se conectam com o momento atual, sabe? É uma história que eu já estou desenvolvendo também.
Sí. María, yo conozco a muchos artistas de todo el mundo, de Brasil, Argentina, Colombia, Venezuela, de Latinoamérica, ¿ok? Eh, y gusto saber si você pensou em viajar para Estados Unidos ou Europa para tentar trabalhar na produção internacional.
Ah, seria incrível! Eu, olha, eu tenho muito apreço pelo cinema argentino.
Uhum.
Tenho gostado muito das produções argentinas. Eu acho
Sim.
que a América Latina, de um modo geral, tem uma cultura também muito parecida com a brasileira em muitos aspectos. Eu
Sim.
gosto, eu falo espanhol, falo inglês, né, um pouco.
Uhum.
Então, também acho que nesse sentido pode ajudar. Mas eu vejo que também há como a gente trazê-los para desenvolver coisas aqui.
Uhum.
Porque o que acontece, eu acho, na Europa, o cinema inglês e francês eu também gosto muito. As
Sim.
séries inglesas
Sim.
estão incríveis, né? E o cinema
Sim, sim.
francês também eu gosto muito.
Sim, sim.
Mas eu vejo que existe muito mais financiamento mesmo, estrutura para a produção. Aqui
Sim.
na América Latina, Brasil enfim, nós temos poucos recursos, né?
Uhum.
Então, existem grandes artistas, mas poucos recursos para produzir os trabalhos, né?
Sim.
Então, eu acho que talvez não seja o caso da gente sair, mas de trazê-los para cá, fazer aqui,
Se,
né?
se você tem
Mas eu tenho
oferta.
muita. O que eu tenho vontade, sim, é de participar, sair das fronteiras, isso sim, de trocar com atores de outros lugares, né? De contar histórias de várias partes do mundo, isso sim.
Sim. E, se você tem oferta para interpretar telenovelas, gusta fazer telenovela porque telenovelas aqui muito popular.
Telenovela?
Se gusta ou não? Ou gusta cinema, teatro?
Eu gostaria? Claro!
Gusta.
Sim. Eu já fiz uma participação também. Eu já fiz em Chiquititas, que é uma telenovela
Sim,
brasileira. Você deve conhecer, era muito famosa.
sim,
Para infanto
porque
juvenil.
sim, porque aqui
Eu fiz uma pequena participação também nessa novela. Mas eu gosto, o
excelente.
Brasil é muito famoso pelas telenovelas, né?
Sim, também,
Eu acho que o Brasil faz muito boas telenovelas.
sim, el telenovelas de Turquia também é muito popular agora a fazer dublagem no português, no espanhol, e notei que é muito popular também em Latinoamérica, telenovelas de Turquia, porque é muito romântica, tem muito melodrama como telenovelas latinas.
Como é? Eu não sei se eu compreendi.
La,
Fazer
la telenovela
telenovelas
de
latinas?
Turquia, de Turquía, como de Turquía hay telenovelas del Medio Oriente, tem dublagem no português, no espanhol, agora
Ah,
muito popular em Colômbia, aqui no Equador. Notei porque o drama tem muito romântico, muito como telenovela latino. Notei.
eles dublam em espanhol, é?
Sim, sim, espanhol e
Invés,
português também.
não
Sim.
em português, em espanhol.
En español sí, no pienso en Brasil, no. Me son telenovelas de Turquía.
As novelas da Turquia são dubladas em espanhol e não em português.
Sí,
É,
no Colombia y Ecuador, aquí muy popular, el telenovelas del Medio Oriente.
eu acho que o espanhol é uma língua mais falada no mundo, né, do que o português. Assim.
Sí, sí. Y
Infelizmente, isso acontece. Então, vou começar a fazer um curso de dublagem. Eu
excelente.
vou, se me chamar, eu vou. Faço dublagem de
Sí, sí,
novela turca. Pode me
sí.
chamar.
Mayra, por fin me gustaría agradecer você para la entrevista y ten mi mejor votos para su carrera artística. ¿Ok? Espero el próxima vez fazemos otra entrevista quando você tem um novo filme também.
Tá bom, eu que agradeço, Sherif, pela oportunidade, pelo carinho, né? Por nos apresentar para o mundo.
Sim, muito
Verdade.
obrigado e mejor esperança para tu carreira
Para
no
você também.
futuro. Ok? Yeah, muito obrigado e boa tarde. Beijo.
Nada, tchau, tchau.
Tchau. Hello, good afternoon. This
Hello.
afternoon, very happy to welcome actress and model Anna Oris. She's talking to us from California. How are you, Anna?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
Thank you very much for joining the live. Appreciate very much your time. I've seen in your biography that you are originally from Russia, St. Petersburg, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, tell me then about how did you grew up and got interested into arts and cinema and became a model? Because I have many friends from St. Petersburg. It is a historical city in Russia, a lot of culture, museum, heritage. So tell me about your teenage and childhood. How did you grow up and become professional artist?
Honestly, I always wanted to be an actress when I was since I was 4 or 5 years old, and I told my parents that I will be an actress and I will move to Hollywood. Um, and I started when I was a model. I was 15 years old. Oh, sorry, I heard something and it just interrupted me. So I started to work as a model when I was 15 years old, and later, like 2 years later, when I was 17, I decided to try to work as an actress, and I went to check how I'm going to work as a background. Do I really want to be an actress, or just something in my mind or whatever? So I just worked a few times as a background, as an actors, extra actors, and I said, you know what, I like it, but I want to do this as a professional actress. So I went to the university and I finished the university as an actress. I started to work in the theater for a long time. And mm, about my city, right? You asked me. It's uh, it's just unbelievable, beautiful city with a huge I don't know how I can explain. If someone will ask me what is your favorite city, I always say it's St. Petersburg, because it's just something in this city you cannot even explain. This spirit, soul, art, and I really appreciated that Peter First was built this city in 1703 year. Yeah, it was a 1703, because it's just really beautiful city with the art, architecture, museums. I miss this city. I like California, I like Los Angeles, but really architecture is everything. uh, what else did you ask me?
Yes, I ask you about the city, of course, because St. Petersburg is like a big museum. It's like a big museum.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
have a friend of mine, documentary filmmaker, who works in the film archive in St. Petersburg, Alexandro Markov, and we are in touch all the time about his new projects, and we try to collaborate because, in the 50s, Egypt and Russia used to have a history of collaboration, and in St. Petersburg, the archive, before internet and everything, they used to produce the cinema journal. And so, if you want to trace the history of Egypt and Russia, you can find that a lot of the what we call the cinema journal. Used to see the news in the cinema before you see the main feature, and so that's why I have communication when about St. Petersburg and the history between Russia and Egypt. But
Yeah,
Anna, I see.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
tell me.
I just want to tell that I really appreciate my parents that they moved
Yes.
to St. Petersburg when they were very young, because my mom, she is from Kazakhstan, and my father, he's from Belarus, and they moved to St. Petersburg when they were very, very young, and I was born there.
Yes. And I see from your early films, your filmography, that you worked already in television in Russia. This is correct?
This is correct.
Yes. Tell me briefly about what did you play roles? Did you play like an agent? Did you play a beautiful model? Your roles in Russia before you moved to California?
I played many roles. I don't know. I can tell you maybe the biggest. Yeah, I played. Usually, it's beauty models, something. Yeah, very obvious, right? But I like to play more bad and deep characters. So I remember the role where I was playing a killer. So it was really, really interesting because I was very nice, kind woman who was caring about his husband. But I did everything that he will die, and in the end we see that I was a killer. And these characters show my um my acting work in a better way, that I can be different, not just a beauty woman, beauty model. And I like to play harder roles. Another role was very interesting for me. I was playing a teacher, piano teacher, but I was uh, in the wheelchair, so I was like a disability, right? This word. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you very well.
Yeah. And yeah, this role, when I was playing piano teacher, I was like a good, and I was very nice. I was teaching kids in the wheelchair, and nobody can understand that I was a bad person, bad character. So this kind of role is really interesting for me when we can see this flip, And also, I was playing for 4 years in the theater. It was comedy. One play was comedy. Was really very, very good play. People love this. I think they're still playing this play in my theater with another actress. And another play was in Moscow, was drama, poem drama. And I was playing main character as well. Her name is Lisa Strata. Was very, very hard and interesting role. It's about women who stop the war between two huge countries by sexual revolution. Yeah. And yeah, so, but I played many roles. What exactly do you want to know about that? I told you a little bit.
Yes, but tell me, when did you decide to move to California and to expand your career in America? When did it happen?
How I already told you, I thought about this when I was 5 years old. I already decided. But when you became older, you got family, your dreams, sometimes you just forget about this. And when I divorced, it happened when I was 27 years old. When I divorced, I asked myself what I'm still doing here if I always wanted to move to Los Angeles and be actress in Hollywood. So when I divorced, I started to I applied for my EB1 extraordinary work visa, and I got this very easily. And then that's it. And then I just moved. So I moved 2019, 3 years ago.
Yes, and already you have like a filmography and a past work. You could start to work in the United States. What did you start to do? Did you look for an agent, or did you try to find, try to communicate with filmmakers in California to propose your CV, your your work with them? What did you start to do in the last 3 years?
Yes, first, what I started to do, I started to looking for an agency, of course, a talent agency, and manager, but it was very hard to find because my English was even more poor than right now. And accent was even more worse, so nobody wanted to take me. And after 6 months, the COVID started, so everything was shut down, and I stopped to looking for anything. I actually remember this day. I just signed the contract with talent agency. It was a February 9th, and 1 month later, the COVID started. So I was like, okay, what I'm gonna do? So I was focused on study in English and reduce my accent. And later, like 1 year later, I found really good agency. I started to work with them, and my first movie was a short movie, and it was in 2021 in January, right after the New Year. I remember this day. It was January 9th. So this was the first my movie. And then I realized that it's bad when actors, they rely only on their managers and agency. You have to rely on yourself and build your career by yourself, because your agency and manager is just your team. They can help you, but not with everything. So I was looking for connections by myself as well. And if you see my movies, my resume, you will see, for the last year and a half, I made really like 6 or 7 movies, and almost everything through my connections.
Yes, but I want to ask you, Anna, do you have, I see here in the resume you send me, you are an athlete, you do skydiving, boxing, everything. You are perfect for a role of a special agent or something like that in Mission Impossible. Or Nikita, if you have seen Nikita by Luc Besson,
Yeah.
he did many agent role for women. And also, I see right now there are tendency to have roles, strong roles for women, right, in Hollywood in the last couple of years. Maybe you have seen the new remake of Charlie's Angels. There was many films with the prime protagonist is a woman. But tell me, especially yourself, coming from a different culture and everything, do you have some kind of a dream role or something you would like to achieve yourself, something you dream of realizing in America or in Europe, a role you'd like to do?
Yes, I would like actually to play in the musical. That's maybe a little bit unexpected, but yes, I would like to play in musical where I can sing and dance at the same time. And I like this style, this part of the movies and this part of the entertainment business, because it's always beautiful, alive. And also I want to play action, like a really strong action where I can do boxing, something with gun, where I can do fights, or maybe archer. I just want to use my old skills which I have.
And right now, Anna, I see recently that we have many films coming up in post production. You talked to me about maybe Ravishing, and you have many films like Serpent Party, Oksana. these movies you shot and they are coming up, including the film beside you, Gunfight at Rio Bravo. You play a Russian cowgirl or what?
Uh, you know what? That's maybe funny, but the movie I played for the last 1 year and a half, there is no Russian. There's Germany, uh, American, like something Eastern European, but no Russian. And that's maybe a little strange, but even right now, I got another role in the upcoming movie, and there is no Russian. I don't know why. I don't get a lot Russian auditions for the movie.
Yes, but right now, do you think it's important to lose the Russian accent and play other role? You know, because many actors, you know, I remember like Arnold Schwarzenegger, he's been in the States for the last 40 years and he's trying to recuperate again his accent because he lost it, you know, when he started to do American films with Terminator and stuff like that.
It's important anyway to have an American accent and Russian accent. I think it's better to have both, you know, then you can play any roles. But honestly, even right now, I don't think it's really important. What really is important for me, and I think for anyone, to have really good English, and that the director producers will understand you, and you understand them. Otherwise, it's not gonna work. So I'm working. I'm struggling with my English, if you can see it. So this is my main goal, to speak in English fluently and understand everything. Then I can improve more, do improvisation more in the movies, because what can be better than improvisation for the actors?
Yes, this is excellent. Anna, are you preparing to shoot something new? You want to share it with us? You have some project coming up, or
I cannot tell a lot, but yes, I'm going in this month, September, to Miami to shoot the movie. It's a uh, lead supporting role. So I'm gonna be through whole movie. It's really interesting role for me. I love this role. And yes, another movie is coming November, and next year, April, May 2023. And all of them action, psychological thriller, and and another psychological thriller. It's gonna be February. Yeah, so movie is coming up, and it's very exciting.
congratulations?
Thank you.
And I wish you all the best in your upcoming projects. I look forward to see your new work on the big screen. Don't forget to invite us to the premiere of your new films next year.
Thank
And
you. I
keep up
will.
the good work and be careful doing your own stunts if you are, you know, approached to play, you know, some dangerous roles on the screen.
Yeah,
And,
thank you so much. It's a good advice.
yes,
But
yes,
I'm not afraid of that, you know, because usually on the sets, it's a professional people who can
of
explain
course.
you. Even on the Western movie, when we were doing this movie, when we filming, it was in Arizona. We had a professional fighter. He was the best one, really. He explained everything, and it was perfect. So I am not afraid.
Yes. Thank you very much. My wife is sharing your interview on her Facebook right now.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
And thank you.
I'm very grateful and appreciate that you asked me to give interview. I hope I can inspire some people
Of
that
course.
they can, they can do, and they can get what they really want if they
Realize
work.
their dreams, you mean?
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Yes, yes, yes. I
Thank you.
forget to tell you that I visited Russia 2 times. I was jury member in 2 festivals in Russia, one in Kazan and one in Orenburg in the last 10 years. So I enjoyed very much Russia, and I visited after these festivals Moscow as well. So I hope I can go back to Russia again, maybe St. Petersburg, your home city.
Have you been there? You've been
Yes.
in Kazan? Are you in
Yes, I've
Kazan,
been in
Orenburg?
Kazan 3 years ago as a jury member in the festival there, and also in 2012 I was in Orenburg. It's near Kazakhstan border.
Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah.
know. But have you been in St. Petersburg? No?
No, no, maybe
No,
next
okay.
time. I want my friend Alexandro Markov to invite me.
You would love it. The best time to go to St. Petersburg is summer.
Yes, I'm sure I enjoy it. My wife loved Russia as well, and my wife is from Colombia. And
Oh,
she's telling me now you looks like a young Angelina Jolie,
thank
and you are
you.
more beautiful than her.
Thank you so much.
Since you will be in Miami, try to learn some Spanish as well.
Yes, I'm working on that. Hola, ¿qué pasó?
Hola, te dice hola.
¿Cómo estás?
Todo bien. Te dice cómo estás.
Yeah,
Thank
I'm
you very
working on
much,
that.
Anna. We'll be in touch all the time. Good luck in your new shooting, and
Thank you.
I look forward to know the release dates of your new film.
Thank you so much. Good luck,
Have
you
a good
too.
day.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Have
Take
a good
care.
day.
Have a lovely
Bye.
afternoon.
Bye. Bye.
Good afternoon. This afternoon, I'm very happy to welcome Miss Emily Skelton, talking to us from California, Los Angeles. She's an actress and artist. How are you, Emily? Thank you very much for joining the live.
I'm really well today. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
You, pleasure for me as well. Tell me a little bit about your beginnings and how did you decide to study and become a professional artist?
Well, my travels have taken me all sorts of ways to things that I might not have. I don't have any linear paths. So when I was younger, I was very interested in acting as a child and a teenager, and even into my first year of college. But I had my son at 19, and my acting career faded, and I went into working as a driver in the film industry, and that was a way that I was able to keep myself into the realm of acting and watching other people act for so many years. And just before the pandemic, I decided that since my son was grown now, that I would put some effort into returning to acting. And I have been taking classes, especially through COVID. I went on some online acting classes, and it offered me opportunities, to keep practicing and connecting with people. And now that I'm back to work as a driver in the film industry, I am also going to school and finishing my degree in hopes of taking a little more time for other pursuits, as you know, acting and writing, and more time to paint and make jewelry and do the things that I love. So I am just kind of changing my life because the pandemic offered me a different way of looking at things, and I just want to continue the things that I love and see what happens.
This is great. And Tom, you are a member of SAG-AFTRA, right?
Yes, I am.
I think what I would like to ask you is when you are a member of the Acting Association in the United States, this offers you more opportunity in casting and communicating with producer, with casting agencies, or it is better as well to rely on yourself to look for opportunities?
It's a slippery slope, actually, because if I were to have possibly stayed non-union longer in order to get more camera time, I might have done myself a service by being able to put myself out there more often. So now that I am SAG, I might have become SAG a bit too early. I've only had one principal role, and I am right now without an agent or manager. So I am looking for representation. So right now it is just up to me to find opportunities. And even though having the SAG card gives me the ability to take the professional union jobs, I don't have my reel built up. A lot of people don't know me as an actress yet, except for the few people that I have worked with in the past couple of years. So, but I would prefer to work union, because as a union driver, I know it's a better work environment. So I believe that to be true as well with acting. I think that I would be better protected on shoots that are SAG approved, and I just even though it might be a little harder it'll take more effort for me to get where I want to be, but I think once I get there, it will be beneficial.
Of course. But you told me as well during our talk on LinkedIn, you had already a credit, tell me about it, your previous role.
So I was working on games people play as a driver. It's a BET television show. And I saw an opportunity for a part that I might be able to do. And I asked my boss, and he asked his boss, and she asked the director if I would be able to audition for it. And Rob Morrow was the director, and he said I could audition for it. So I went and got prepared. They gave me the sides it was just a couple of lines, but I auditioned for Rob, and I got the part. And I always felt that I'd be very comfortable on set because I have lived in that environment for so long, and I was correct. And I feel that it was a very comfortable place for me to be, and I wasn't. I feel like I accomplished the job very easily, and I was professional, and it was simple, and I'm ready to do it again. It was a lot of fun. I was really excited to have that opportunity. But the only way I got the opportunity was by opening my mouth and letting people know that that's what I want. So sometimes you just have to speak up for yourself and to say, hey, I'd like to try something new. I'd like to do something different. And it's really nice to see that there are people out there that are happy to give you a leg up and help you out in that way.
Yes, Rob Moreau was very popular in the 90s with Northern Exposure, right? The
Yes.
television series, if I remember well.
Yes.
And he did Quiz Show, a film directed by Robert Redford, you know. And I think since then he ventured into directing as well after getting this experience.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think it was wonderful working with him. He has great experience in television and cinema for you.
Yes, I'm very proud to say that he was my first director.
Yes.
I'm
But
very lucky.
tell me, yes, great. Emily, tell me, when we talked a little bit, you told me you have maybe a certain notice or a certain critique of the film industry or your personal, reflection on working in the industry. You'd like to share something with the viewers about your own impression, thoughts, your challenges, maybe as an actress, as a woman artist.
Well, like I say, I don't have a ton of experience on the artistic side of film at the moment. But just the film industry in general to me is a beautiful place to be. It's an environment where there are a lot of very hardworking people with wonderful personalities, and it amazes me how a group of, sometimes strangers can come together in a day and accomplish amazing things separately and together, because you can't make a movie by yourself. You need the truck drivers, and you need the caterers, and you need the security guards, and the cameras, and the actors, and the set dressers, and the prop guys, and the makeup artists, and it's just a huge endeavor. Every single day we are able to come together and realize something from a piece of paper, or these days a computer screen, but to just bring people's words to life. And even if I'm just sitting in my truck watching it happen, it's an incredible thing, and I love it. It's so much fun. There's some beautiful people in the industry that they just show up every day and work super hard, but it teaches you a lot about, I mean, the things that I've learned in production have transferred over into my life, things like there are no problems, there are only solutions. Like, we don't have time in the film industry to wonder about like who made the mistake, or what happened, or why something went wrong. We have to hurry up and solve the problem so that we can move on to the next shot. And in life, sometimes too, it's the same. It's like, it doesn't matter, what's going wrong right now. Like, how can you fix it and make it work out for the next portion of your life? So it's taught me to be strong. It's taught me to be to bend, and to make do, and to think quickly on my feet, and to make decisions that you just have to move forward. And it's just the things that I've learned in film have given me a philosophy on life that I've taken over into my actual day-to-day routine. So I'm thankful for that.
And I see behind you there is a painting. Did you draw this yourself?
Yes, these are all of my own works.
Yes.
I love to paint. I love to create. I actually have taken some of my work and put it on fabric and made jewelry. I have Funk and Form is my funkandform.com. I have a new website that I'm working on trying to get populated. I have a lot of work to do on that, but between driving and going to school and just creating works in the first place, I have my hands full. So it's a
yes,
just a day-to-day. I add a little bit here and there, and on my days off, and so. But I do have a lot of work to do. But funkandform.com and you can see my artwork there. And I also sell some thrift items, and you know, eventually it will be you know, just clothing and you know, knickknacks and fun stuff that I found.
Yes, I thought, yes, because I compared this painting to your LinkedIn profile. You have something on the banner, you know, and I imagine this is the same style. You paint on canvas, right?
Yes.
Yes, this is very nice. Yes,
Thank you.
and yeah, I hope you can share with me your website. We can put it also write down the interview here, and as well, what I would like to ask you finally, you know, you know, maybe as an actress or right now you are a painter. I've just seen yesterday a trailer. You know, I love the films about artists, by the way. You know, like Surviving Picasso with Anthony Hopkins. You know, and The Agony and Ecstasy. You know, the classic films. You know, about Van Gogh and all the stuff. I wanted to ask you: do you have maybe a dream role you would like to perform in the future?
I don't know about a dream role, but I do love I love Southern accents, and I love just gritty roles.
Yes.
You know, I think it'd be really fun to just be a absolute mess on screen. You know, like a girl with actually,
like
you know,
like a Southern accent, like Robert De Niro in Cape Fear, something like that.
Yeah,
Yes.
just something that, you know, that's
completely different than to yourself. Maybe I mean, you'd like to make, I mean, a character completely different, that your own pronunciation, vocabulary, maybe something, a challenge role. I mean,
yeah, that would be a lot of fun. It'd be a lot of fun
this is
to, you
great.
know, it's all about playing and just enjoying yourself. So I think that you know, we as humans have a huge range of emotions, and most of the time, you know, I just try to be as positive as I can and to enjoy every minute of life, you know, especially after what we've all gone through in the past couple of years. You know, I've realized like life is too short to have problems, and life is too short to be upset. So I try really hard to be, you know, happy and upbeat and everything, but it would be really fun to be on camera and to just like let all that nitty gritty stuff out, you know?
Of course. You know, and I think as well, if you do like a Southern character, you know, movies taking place in the South in the United States are always interesting, because it takes you away from the city. You know, it's a completely different environment. You know, so I think it could be interesting for you as a performer to try something like that. But I want to ask you, you're a good driver, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I can drive, you know, I drive 5-ton trucks.
Wow.
I normally drive a van at work, or I'll drive a truck for, you know, like a stake bed for construction. A couple of weeks ago, I drove a Shorty 40 and picked up a wardrobe for the wardrobe department, and then the next week I was driving talent in the car, and you know, it just depends. Like every day is a different vehicle. Every show is a different job. You know, sometimes I'll be driving a van with crew from base to set. Sometimes, you know, it just depends. I'll be taking, you know, set dressers to pick up furniture and different materials at prop houses and a 5-ton. So it's just every day is a different day. And that's another thing that I love about film. It's never the same day twice.
You know, a movie that could interest you, we saw it last week, a new film with Morgan Freeman and Juliette Binoche,
Oh yeah.
the French actor. Of course, she won the Oscar for The English Patient. And I had the privilege of meeting her in Egypt. We gave her a tribute in Cairo Festival. She came with Richard Gere. They did a movie that year together. But last week, she did a film with Morgan Freeman. It was released online. It's called Paradise Highway. I
I'll
think you
check it
can
out.
easily watch it. Yeah, she plays a truck driver, by the way, a
Oh
cross-state
really?
truck drive. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I think you would love it because it has as well Morgan Freeman, and also the director. I believe is a woman as well. Her name is Anna Gatto. So
Awesome.
you would love it. It's about and it has a very humanistic storyline, and it tells you about the aspect of cross-state truck driver. First time I see a woman, as a truck driver in the main character of a film. All the
Yeah,
time
I will.
it's more of a male-driven role. I remember
Yes.
right now a classic series. I used to watch it when I was young in Egypt, American, PG and the Bear, and it was about a truck driver who was a monkey, with
I remember
with
that show. I used to
yeah,
watch
yeah,
it
yeah,
myself.
yeah. It was a classic one. So, Emily, it was great talking to you online.
Thanks
I
for
wish you
having
all
me.
the best in your career as an actress and also in your current work as a driver. Logistics are very important in filmmaking.
They really are.
And best wishes in your classes. And I
Thanks.
wish that you can invite us to your next film, to the premiere of your next film next year or
I
something.
I will let you know.
Thank you very much. Have a good
Thank
love
you.
and lovely afternoon. Thank you very much.
You do the same. Thank you so much for having me.
Afternoon. This afternoon, I'm pleased to welcome Mrs. Tracy Johnson. She's known in the entertainment field with her name Dale as an actress, model, and makeup artist. How are you, Tracy? How are you? Or Mrs. Dale?
I am doing wonderful.
Thank you very much for accepting the live. How's everything?
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it. I have not done an interview, at least 8 years now. Kind of pulled away with all this
Really?
COVID
It's
stuff
a
that's been
privilege
going
for me to
on and
have you.
haven't worked. Yeah. Thank you. It's an honor.
Can you tell me briefly how did you get interested in becoming like an actress and makeup artist? What did you study? How did you
Said
start?
it.
Yes, I was saying, how
What
did you
was the
become a makeup
question
artist?
again?
Can you tell me how did?
Oh, gosh. Well, I started in
Yes,
industry when I was
I was
about
saying, yeah.
5. Yeah, I started in the industry when I was about 5. My mom got me into children modeling and print modeling, commercials, clothing line, and I did theater
Yes.
and theater arts and different commercials and stuff when I was a teenager, and fell in love with the costume designing when I was in junior high school for the theater arts and acting classes, and just kind of like fell in the lap of the makeup part of it. I was so intrigued with creating and making something totally out of the ordinary, different. I would talk to the directors and different people that I would work with of writing down sketches and drawing different things and coming up with some amazing costumes and makeup, just all by hand, just being creative. I've taken cosmetology, I have my cosmetology license, and I wanted to take it a step further from that and went into LA and learned some amazing artwork, special effects, working in horror movies. I have done over 200 horror movies altogether, being a special effects makeup artist. I got 19 awards under my name from being a makeup artist, costume designer, and other things I've done. I've done stunt work, acting, background acting. I've been on The Leftovers, the TV show, as an actress in the background, plus a makeup artist and costume designer. I have been in so many different other movies, just getting to be a part of a group and part of a family with some amazing people throughout the years.
Yes, this is great. But tell me, please, for one to be professional in creating makeup effects, do you need to study courses, or do you got?
You're cutting out, so I'm not understanding what you're asking.
Yeah, I was saying to be able to become a makeup artist for horror films, do you need to get courses, or also
well,
become a
it all depends.
for,
Yeah, it all depends. I was teaching in Austin, Texas, children from the age of 5 to the age of 19 how to do special effects makeup artist, costume designing at a film school in Austin, Texas. You don't have to actually really, in all honesty, have schooling. As long as you got the passion and you're creative and people can see what you do and you post it, and you have a portfolio, it's hands-on a lot of the times in the industry. And it's good to have background. It's good to have license for your makeup. It's good to have license for your hair. It's good to have some kind of schooling in the film industry. But in all honesty, in this industry, to get your feet in the doorway, you got to know somebody to get your feet in. That's the key thing. And showing them that you have time, showing them that you get the right equipment, showing them that you can actually do the job that they're wanting for that film at that time and at that moment. And being consistent with it. That's a key thing. And keeping your equipment clean, keeping your environment around your stuff clean at all times is a big, huge factor. Because makeup is not cheap, especially when it comes to special effects makeup. It's very expensive. So you got to make sure your equipment, your makeup is always up to date, always clean, always ready. And if you got more than one actor or actress that you're working on, make sure that you have a kit for each one of these people, because you don't want to mix up the makeup to share it with somebody else, because that's always in the factor of giving somebody a cold or giving them an eye infection or anything like that. You want to make sure you got the separate kits for each actor and actresses that you are working on. I never share the makeup from one person to the next person. I just never do that. It's just a big no-no to me. I wouldn't want somebody to use my makeup on them, vice versa, you know.
Yes, it's very good. The first time I hear a makeup artist speaking about these details, especially about infections,
Say that again.
And I was saying first time I hear a makeup artist speaking about these kind of details, like infection and stuff like that.
Okay. You're cutting up really bad. I can barely hear what you're asking.
It's cut. Yeah, just a second.
Okay.
Right now it's better. I changed the microphone.
Okay.
Right now it's better. Better right now.
I can hear you, but it keeps cutting out. Are you hearing me fine? Okay.
Yeah. Yes, maybe my connection. Yeah, I can hear you very well.
Oh, that's better. That's much better. Yes.
Very good. I was saying that it is the first time I hear a makeup artist speaking about this kind of details regarding infection and
yes. It's very crucial because especially
because
before COVID hit, A lot of makeup
Yeah.
artists really think on, having different kits. I always did because I worked hand in hand personally with special actors. I didn't have like 4 or 5 actors all at once. I always had 1 actor to 2 actors to 3 actors, maybe at the most 5. But each one of my characters that I worked on had a special. I would build a kit for them of makeup that they liked, or they would bring their makeup, and I would have it in a special container, and their own brushes, their own puffs, their cleaning supplies for their kits, because of the fact that's just how I am. I've seen lots of makeup artists out there that use the same identical makeup, same identical brushes, and they just wash them out. I don't like doing that because to me, that's giving a staph infection in an eye or their mouth. And if they got like sensitive pores, you don't want to use the same brush or the same sponge on every actor you're working on. That's to me is gross. So I always made sure that I had each one of my clients that I worked with on the sets, I had a special Ziploc bag or Ziploc, some kind of a square container that I would seal up, close up, and it had their name on it from each trailer that I would walk to. So I never shared anybody's makeup with each other. That's just, to me, is just wrong, especially when you got high-end actors that have specialty stuff that they want to use. And most of these people have sensitive skin. So you don't want to use the same stuff for somebody else when they might have an allergic reaction from it, because everybody's got sensitive skin. I know myself, I do. Even with my daughter, she's like, Mom, she's taking cosmetology school now and trying to follow in my footsteps. And she's like, I don't want to use your stuff. I want to use my own. So it's teaching values to keep your makeup and your utensils clean that you're using on each person. They don't teach that a lot in the film set.
Yes.
They just hire somebody and not
Yes.
they don't expect all the hard stuff that goes along with it.
Yes, but tell me, did you happen sometime to you that you yourself acted in your horror films and were makeup effects as well, like a zombie or a werewolf or something?
Okay, say that again. 'Cause you're cutting out again. Say that again.
I was asking about did you play any kind of zombie or werewolf yourself?
Yes, I
in some of the
did.
films you worked in.
Yes, I was actually a zombie character in a couple of films. I was a werewolf. I love my work. On I should be on my LinkedIn, and I'm not exactly sure where else. I pulled a bunch of stuff down since I haven't been in the film industry in a while. But I have a lot of neat experiences being around some major films and TV shows on getting to be a part of the zombie crew, the zombie effect for years. And still today, people keep asking me, are you going to do more? Are you going to get some more film work doing the makeup? I'm still kind of tossing it up. I'm not sure. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of hours. But I love what I do because I like being creative. And I also love the fact of being a part of something that is unique and different than a lot of people realize, because film industry is not easy and there's a lot involved with it. So I always sit back with the director and watch my characters and the makeup, and you're watching how the tone of their skin or the tone of the makeup or the latex is not looking right, and you want to do their touch-ups. You want to make sure your kit's right there. You want to make sure, hey, tap the director on the shoulder or say, hey, look, this doesn't look right. So you're always got to be on cue of seeing the highlights. HD camera and special effects, especially if you see lines or if you see something peeling off, different coloring, you want to make sure they're not sweating looking. You don't want their sweat coming through the makeup. So there's a lot of factors you got to take into doing the makeup also on the film set.
Great. Gail, can you tell me if you have a favorite scene or makeup effects, practical effects like you do graphics that you favor? Myself, I grew up watching Rick Baker work, in American Werewolf in London,
Yes,
and Nutty Professor, and these kind of stuff. And the holding,
yes, I have, yeah.
the first ever holding.
I've got. Yeah, it's actually pretty interesting because I got to be a part of some major films. We're not allowed to, if you post any of the photos or post your work on your websites and things, you get blackmarked. So I can't post what I done on the sets, and
Yes.
I can't give out names because it'll blackmark you to where you can't be on the sets anymore. So I have been on, like I said, some major
Yes.
films, being a part of creating a melted face, zombies, like zombie faces, zombie bodies, skin pulling, ribs, bones popped out, hearts being ripped out. I've created some stuff that I've even had doctors look at me like, this is way too real. Heart squirting blood. One of my favorite films I got to work on that was just it was like a film festival award. It was only like 30 minutes long. Me and my director friend, he's one of my best friends, we won first place for it, and it keeps winning prizes, awards for it, because of the fact of the gore in it was so real and so vivid that the doctors in the hospital, we actually got to have one ward of the hospital that wasn't being used. And so we had this creature that turned into this demon werewolf going around ripping people apart. And I had hearts and body parts ripped all over the floor in the operating room. And an actual doctor walked in and is like, this is way too real. It looks like I got a heart on the table. So, it's all in what your passion is and how you create it. And I'm real big in detail. My mom was a nurse for 45 years, and she would tell me all the things that she would see in the ER. So I started but I would start pulling up like heart patients and how to look at burns and how to look at cuts and wounds, and you learn them. You how they are designed, and I would sit for hours on end just designing it on my arms, designing it on my face, and take pictures and filming myself, showing myself, okay, this is how this looks, this is how this goes. And I would teach my class though. When I was in Austin, I taught my students how to create, if you have a scar on your body or know that somebody's got a scar, mimic that scar so you can learn how to create it when you're doing your own film work. And it's pretty interesting because a lot of people don't realize you don't have to always use latex, because latex has got a chemical in it that can cause an allergic reaction to people. So there is a lot of home-based stuff that you can use to still create the same identical thing without having to be so expensive on buying it through different companies.
Yes, yeah, I want to tell you a story. Growing up in Egypt, we used to make historical drama about pharaohs in the television. And
Okay, say that again.
and one of the actors used to play all the in Egyptian television. They used to have historical drama about pharaohs, right?
Okay.
And
I'm still
there was
not
an
understanding
actor
what
who
you're
used to play a
saying.
priest. Yeah, I was saying there was an actor who used to play a priest all the time, and he used to be painted in a silver color, all his body, to play a pharaoh priest. And I read in the news he got blind from the makeup, from the material they used to paint
Oh,
him
that's
in
yeah.
silver.
The latex, the contacts, especially if you're wearing contacts, it can mess up your eyes if you're not used to have contacts, or there might be some kind of a film on the contacts that can mess up your eyes. If you get latex in your eye, or if you get the fake blood in your eye, even if you get it in your mouth, you can still have some kind of allergic reaction, or better yet, your lungs can close up. So what I always have done with every one of my actors, if they're not sure that they're allergic to it, I always test, like right here on the wrist or right at the back of their neck. That's the two sensitive spots. When you're doing latex, that is the sensitive areas that you're going to know if it's going to turn red or irritated or bubbly looking. So right at the wrist, or right at the crease inside the arm, or right at the back of the neck. Just a little dab, and you rub it around and make it look like there's skin there. And you want to let it sit for a good minute or two, and you'll know immediately if they're allergic to it. If they're allergic to it, it's going to turn red. It's going to start irritating them, and you want to take it off immediately and have like cortisone 10 or Benadryl cream and a Benadryl pill. To where if they're having an allergic reaction, you want to make sure they have something there. And always on a film set, no matter what, you always have a medical physician that's always on set. So if you don't have anything with you, for me, I was always called Mrs. Gadget, or I had always had a medical kit with me. I always had always had Benadryl cream, all on set with me, because I never knew if somebody was going to have an allergic reaction or not. And we always make sure every actor, every person I worked with, hey, what is your allergies? Got to know what your allergies are, especially if you're on a set and you're food allergy. Food allergies always runs into something else you're allergic to too. And a lot of people don't realize that. So on every set I've ever been on, we always did a disclosure with each person. What are you allergic to? Are you allergic to latex? Are you allergic to this? Are you allergic to that? What kind of makeup do you use? That is a big key. And since I've always been I ran my own company. And so I always had a packet that was like a big, thick packet that had like 50 pages in it. Every one of my actors had to read it. They had to sign it and make sure they understood it. They got a copy, and then the director got a copy. So we always understanding whatever I'm using, you're not allergic to. And a lot of makeup artists don't do that. I had to learn very, very early in the industry, because I'm asthmatic and allergies. I'm allergic to certain things, and latex is one of them. When I put it on people, I didn't have any problem. Putting it on myself, I didn't have any problem. There's certain types of latex out there people are severely allergic to, especially if you're doing cast molding. If you're doing cast molding on somebody, some of those chemicals are very harsh to your skin. It's just like the people that does Face Off. I got a chance to be a part of that on one of the teams, and it was pretty interesting because it taught me a lot on cast molding and how to do big pieces on people. And it's not easy. It's definitely not easy. And when you have somebody that have an allergic reaction, you got to get that stuff off of them as quick as possible.
Yes. Dale, I want to thank you very much for this live, for this valuable information you
Yeah,
gave us about
thank you.
makeup and your history of work. I wish you all the best in upcoming
Thank
project
you
and all the
so
best to your,
much. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. I enjoyed this. Thank you.
to your children as well.
Thank you.
Yes,
You
good
too.
luck
You have a
with your
blessed
children,
day.
starting their career as well. Thank you very much. Have a lovely afternoon.
Yes.
Good morning. Today, very happy to welcome Miss Big Fordyce. She's an actress, model, and right now she's a filmmaker and also work as a makeup artist. How are you, Beck? How are you? Thank you very much for joining the live.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm doing well today. How you doing?
Yeah, I read that you were born and raised in Sydney, Australia, right?
Yes, that's correct.
So tell me first about your childhood, teenage year. How did you get interested into the arts to become a professional artist?
So I've just always naturally been drawn to entertainment. I think from the moment I could talk, I knew that I wanted to be on television and, be a performer. And by the age of 5 years old, my parents had put me into some community acting classes. And then from there, they kept seeing that I kept taking it seriously and really wanted to be in that world. And by the time I was 12 years old, we were in New York City, and my parents decided that it would be a smart move for me to start looking for an agent. And they were very realistic about the industry. They said that, if this is something that I want to do, they're not going to be stage parents. They're just going to drive me to the auditions, give me the support I need. But once I get into the audition room, then that's on me. That's my responsibility. And they've always told me that, you need to get good at other things because, entertainment, especially career in film, is very inconsistent. So, they've always given me a lot of support, but they've also kept me very grounded and, given me a realistic sense of what to expect entering this world.
Great. And I see that you traveled a lot. But when did you decide you would like to be in the United States to move to New York City?
So I've always dreamt of working in the United States. Growing up in Australia, we have a lot of cross-pollination of things from the United States, from England, and from Australia. And, I feel that the United States, in terms of, a full film industry, creates a lot of the strongest material and work. So I knew, maybe when I was like 8 or 9 years old that, somehow, some way I would live in America. The original goal was always to move to Los Angeles. And I was preparing to, move to LA around 2007. And when that all came about, the writers' strike happened in across America. And my teacher at the time, Sandra Lee Patterson, who trains a lot of actors to come to America, had said that if the writers go on strike, then eventually the actors will go on strike. And, being an immigrant, working in America wouldn't be appealing because I want to keep the American jobs for American people. So I held off on that, and through strange circumstances ended up in New York around 2009, and I never went home.
This is nice. And almost you are like right now like 12 years in New York or more.
Yeah.
Yes. Tell me, how did you, start to move around? Did you look for casting? Did some TV appearance? Because I've seen that during this period you did some short films and appearance in some popular television series and programs. So how did you move around in New York?
So, when I first came to the United States, I took an acting class in New York City. The school itself was a bit of a joke. There weren't many American people. Actually, there were no American people in my class. But while I was there, I really fell in love with New York City. And Model Mayhem back in 2009 was a big thing to find a lot of casting calls, both modeling and acting wise. And a big appealing part at the time, while I still was waiting for my paperwork to come through, was to, go to photo shoots, film shoots, video, music video shoots and things like that, where I get my experience, be paid in cash. And once I got my paperwork and became, an American permanent resident, I was then able to, find representation. And there's a lot of services in the United States that, freelance actors without representation, like casting networks and Actors Access, that you can self-submit for, like indie film shoots, background work, music videos, things like that. And that was sort of, how I established myself in the United States. And, projects grow and build upon themselves. So the more you're working, the more people you meet. And, I've eventually went to the filmmaker's route, and all of those things have really kind of helped and build me as an artist in New York.
Yes. And I want to ask you, right now, 10 years or more in the United States, what do you think was your best achievement so far right now?
I think probably in terms of like success was a horror comedy short that I wrote, directed, and produced called The Carroning back in 2020. I didn't appear in it as an actor, but I wrote it for two of my best friends who were also incredible actors, Matt Sternberg and Lena Mary Amato. And I made a short film for $500 called The Carroning, which was kind of a parody on The Wolfman, where a woman turns into a Karen, like 1930s Wolfman style, when a food delivery goes wrong. And that film had far more success than I could have ever envisioned. And we ended up winning a highly coveted award at Festival of Cinema NYC last year, and ended up getting a distribution deal through IndiePix, which is a channel on Amazon Prime. So that's probably my biggest and most proud personal success to date. And also my production company, Morbid Little Girl Productions, is probably my proudest achievement.
This is great. You remember you sent me a link to view the pilot of Class Act. This is supposed to be like a short film or a pilot for a television or a web series?
It's a pilot. We would love to develop that into a 4-series arc, and even have the option of turning it into a feature film. So currently Class Act is playing on the festival circuit at the moment, and we're hoping through the awards and, the success and, media attraction that it has, that eventually we can find investors to help us, reshoot the pilot with a higher budget and a bigger crew, and to continue telling the story of Tommy Turk and all of his students.
Yes, this is very nice. It's funny, by the way. I saw the pilot. Yes, but tell me right now about becoming a director after being in the front of the camera, a writer-director right now. What was the most or the biggest challenge you felt when you started to write or to direct others behind the camera?
So yeah, basically I'd written a Class Act before I wrote any of my other, little shorts that I did. I remember I wrote it right before COVID happened, and I had a table read with all of the actors that I had in mind for the roles that I'd written. And we did this wonderful table read. And then I thought, I have absolutely no clue on how to make this come to life. And Louis Cortez, who is the co-director on A Class Act, and he was also the director of photography on the last project I made, The Carroning, and he gave me some advice and pointers, but I just felt I wasn't ready. I didn't know what I was doing. And when COVID hit, that was when I made my first horror short, Cut to the Chase. And, I've worked on film sets both as an actress, but also as a makeup artist. And over those years of working professionally, you start to pick up a lot of what you see on sets. So, I've learned what to do, more importantly, what not to do. And, you know, obviously along the way, I've made my own mistakes as well. But when I made my first short, I was every single crew position. And so I was the director of photography, you know, I was the writer, director, producer, and I studied 2 scenes that were inspired for Cut to the Chase. There was a scene from Evil Dead 2 at the beginning where Ash runs through the wood, and that the camera's moved, it looks like he's being chased by evil spirits. And obviously the bathroom scene in The Shining, and I watched the shots of, you know, what they did and wrote down, you know, the ideas that I had. And I shot everything on an iPhone. We were very lucky because it was all in natural light in New Hampshire. And I got all the material and the shots that I needed. And they were, you know, sort of the ways in. And, you know, through having a friend that was an editor to give me some advice and talking to other people, I was able to make sense of things. But obviously the biggest challenge is just getting started and not really knowing where or how to start. But you just start, you just begin.
Yes. And I see in your upcoming credits, you have some coming up shorts that you finished shooting.
Yeah. I just wrapped on a project last week called The Prof, which was written and directed by Deborah Markowitz. So I was doing both a supporting role in that, and I was also the makeup artist in it. Then there's another project that I'm in pre-production with Louis called SP Mode, which is going to be a horror film. And then I am also in pre-production on another project that I've written, but I'm going to produce instead of direct, called The One Who Got Called In. And then there's a couple of other projects that I've worked on that are currently playing in the festival circuit, like Park Slope Mums, and you know, we're waiting to see whether people are, you know, interested in picking those up and making something bigger of it. So that's currently, you know, what's in the pipeline and what I've currently been working on.
Yeah, I see that you mentioned a lot of horror films. Do you like the genre a lot?
I do. You know, I'm especially fascinated with the social commentary that comes with a lot of horror films. You know, a lot of people just kind of see the blood and gore, but I'm really fascinated at what is being said beneath it. So, you know, particularly with the types of films that I've been a writer and director of, I love exploring the darker side of humanity and the horrors of humanity through satire. But yeah, it's just been a genre because, you know, horror has a built-in audience. It's something that, you know, is very easy to make, very easy to market, and very easy to sell because people are always looking for thrills. And particularly with the slasher genre, it's about the kills and how creative you can get with the kills. So it's just been something that, you know, I've gravitated towards. You know, I love horror, I love heavy metal, you know, I love that kind of alternative, you know, world. And it's just something that you kind of fall into. You know, over the years I've met people that make those sorts of projects, and because, you know, I've worked in it a lot, that it just kind of, you know, work attracts work.
Yes, you know, a lot of horror films we have seen, you know, predicted, I mean, a lot of problems around the world, maybe COVID, you know, about, you know, breakouts and, you know, and I remember as well films like An American Wolf in London, you know, The Howling, the first one. I love the first one, you know, the original. And you know, films, the beginnings of Wes Craven, you know, the films he did in the 70s, you know,
like Last House on the Left.
Like Last House on the Left, and you know, I mean, they have a lot of social commentary, you know, and I think people try to revisit these films right now, you know, to decipher them, you know, beside also the violence or the gore or the chilling factor, you know. Yeah, but I've seen you traveled a lot, and you've been in Trinidad and Tobago. This is correct?
Yeah. So it was actually through Model Mayhem. I found a casting call where they were looking for a travel show host to go to the Caribbean. I had absolutely no idea where I was supposed to be going or what I was doing, but it was 3 weeks basically a paid vacation to go to the Caribbean, which turned out to be the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. And I worked on this show. It had a terrible name, but I was the travel show host on this show with another American host, a Dutch host, and then a local Trinidad, model. And we were exploring the ecosystem because Trinidad and Tobago was originally part of South America, and it broke off, and basically it's got a really fascinating ecosystem where you've got, Amazon type vegetation, but then you've also got Caribbean, in the ocean and that type of thing. So we explored and traveled that because most of the time people associate Trinidad and Tobago with oil, but there's such diverse and lush ecosystem. So they, really wanted to explore the culture, the ecosystem, and we worked with a director and then a man by the name of Stephen Broadbridge, who worked for National Geographic. And, he took care of the nature component side of things. But then we also went and, learned a little about carnival. We went to a costume making place by the name of Hearts, where we got to see all the costumes being made up. And because it was a holiday season, we got to practice what's known as parang, which are these holiday singers that go from door to door performing, local holiday themed music. So that was a really incredible experience. It was sort of an adventure of a lifetime because, I didn't quite know what I was walking into. And that was a really exciting part of my travels.
Yes. And right now, Beck, tell me, being like a writer, director, performer as well, I think maybe you have many ideas you would like to realize, or some kind of a dream role or a dream project. Can you share something with us about something you would like to create in the future?
Oh gosh, I haven't really thought so far, beyond what's currently existing. I'd love to I'd love to see a class act be fully realized and tell, the 4-story arc I have in mind. But, dream roles and dream projects, if it was, if the world had its way, I would love to work with David Lynch at some point. He's one of my favorite directors. I'd also love to be on an HBO series at some point. I think that they create some of the most exciting content, on television these days. So they're sort of dream projects. And eventually I'd love to tell a feature film. And I don't know whether that would be dark comedy or horror yet. So that's something that, I think once I get to work on my next project that I'll start bringing these other ideas to life.
Yeah, speaking of HBO, I love Westworld, see it here every time it comes back. And also last year or the year before, I watched Watchmen, it was a one season series, but I love it, I love its concept, the way it was adapted, like a continuation of the film and the graphic novel. I love the HBO content a lot, and Amazon as well. We watch here The Boys all the time.
I hear good things about The Boys.
It's very good, by the way. Once you see 1 or 2 episodes, you'd like to continue. It's a new take on superhero film, and I think it's a more realistic take, about how power can corrupt, if some people can get superpowers, it's very similar when Superman or Batman go bad, until some kind of influence, so, but I love how it, it criticizes, American media and how it influenced people, so I think you would love it if you try to watch a couple of episodes. Yes, Beck, I want to thank you very, very much for joining the live. I wish you all the best with your upcoming projects.
Thank you.
And I look forward to attend the premiere of your new films.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much for your time today, too. It was lovely to talk to you.
Thank you very much. Have a lovely day.
You too. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. This afternoon, I'm very happy to welcome Ms. Shani Slade from the United States. She's a model and an actress, dancer. She does a lot of stuff. We'll know more from her. How are you, Shani? Thank you very much for joining the live.
I'm good. How are you?
I know you're based in Los Angeles, California. Before we talk about what you're doing right now, can you tell me about how did you got interested into arts, become a model, choreographer, and where and what did you study?
Okay. It's a loaded question. Well, one, choreography was something that I used to do when I was younger. Everybody who knew me knew that I danced. So anybody who knows me from back in the day knows that that was something that I was really good at. And it's something I'm still good at, but I kind of had to put it on the back burner. But it's something that I do still want to pursue, but in a different light. Modeling came because I'm very photogenic, but I was very shy, which is kind of weird. I've always wanted to be in front of the camera, but I don't know. It wasn't the time. So I didn't get into modeling until like 23. And then from there, I just kind of like did different things. I had been a part of like fashion shows and some publications, and I met some decent people. So I knew that was something that I do still want to pursue, but it was the door that opened for everything else to fall through. So, hey, Sissy.
Yes. Being like camera shy, I think it was right now it's very difficult because right now people has camera and cell phone and tablets and everything. But I think maybe 20 years ago, I think young women used to be more camera shy.
Oh yeah.
Right now, everybody is like the camera, correct?
Yeah, it's cameras are everywhere, so it's like even if you're not ready, it's there.
Yes. And did you study before becoming like a professional artist?
I did go to community college. I was trying to get a degree in dance because, again, that was something that I was known for at a very young age. I danced early, even though I was really shy. My mom used to make me dance in front of our relatives, even when I didn't want to. So I've always been intrigued with the industry. Really? So majority of my classes were dance, music, production. Like I just knew I was going to be in this area. I just didn't know exactly which door. Oh, thank you, Sissy.
Yes. And I noticed. I noticed in your biography, people. Yeah, I'm gonna put here. Somebody saying, "Oh, hello, you look good."
That's my sister. Hey, Sissy. She does hair too, so I can shout her out real quick. Yeah, that's my sister. She does hair. She's a custom wig maker. Shout her out. Ready Love Custom hair. I'm saying we gonna do that.
Yeah, happy to have her. Thank you for joining. And now, right now, Chani, tell me. I saw a lot of your photos on Facebook, Instagram. You do modeling for different brands. You do some stuff as well. I mean, what do you do exactly?
Well, with modeling, I I'm kind of going about it a little differently. I do plan on collaborating. I have collaborated with some people, but it's like I'm trying to like shift things and make it a little different. Hi, Montoya. Thank you, girl. I'm trying to like go about it a little differently. First, I do want to eventually be a part of like big brands, but I'm just like particular on what exactly I'm trying to be seen, because I am myself am a brand, so I don't want to align myself with just anything. And I have been offered different opportunities with jewelry and glasses and all that stuff like that, but I do want to take it to another level. I am very intrigued with the high fashion. So me being who I am, I want to kind of like touch on that because that's what I would like to do. And if it leads to, you know, potentially being a part of an agency, that's cool too.
Yes. Yes. I know in Los Angeles, especially where you are, it's very competitive. I mean, fashion, dancing, choreographing, and also becoming an actress, performer, doing music. Because once I remember when I was there, a friend of mine was there showing me, they are telling me most of the coffee shops here are aspiring actors or actresses or artists looking for
Yeah.
opportunity, waiting for a casting call. This is I mean the environment in Los Angeles,
Yeah.
you know. But
Yeah.
let me ask you, beside your personal profile on Facebook and Instagram, it is simply your name, Chinese Day. You have another Facebook page. It's Lasha Slave Beauty Company. This is your company
Oh,
or your business.
it's a beauty cosmetic company that I had started, but I had to put on a pause. I'm actually gonna do a rebranding of that. I'm actually wearing one of like my
Excellent.
products that I'm testing right now. Um, I the reason why I
Yes.
started is because, you know, modeling. I would come across a lot of models and dancers and stuff like that, and you know, makeup is, even though there's so many different companies that sell makeup, it's like you can never find the right stuff. No matter how many different brands that sell all these things, you can never seem to find the right thing. So I just felt like it made, you know, it was smart to kind of like create something to where, you know, I can be the point of contact since I'm around people
Yes.
like that. So that is something that I started, but I had to kind of put on pause. So it's going to end up being rebranded and hopefully have more of a variety because it's not just going to be cosmetics. It's going to be like the whole skincare, body self care, everything. So I'm like, really, that's important to me, you know. So yeah.
Yes. 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 But speaking about body care, tell me personally, how do you take good care of
Oh
yourself?
yeah.
Especially in the last years, we didn't have much to do. You know, everything was at home. Tell me, what personally as a professional, what did you do?
Taking care of myself, is that what you mean? Like,
Yes. Yes.
oh, well, one of the things I love facial. I like serums and facial scrubs and masks. I love those. And so I normally try to do at least twice a week. You know, give a scrub with a facial mask. You know, after I actually like more of a natural type of skincare. So it just depends. But I find myself sometimes doing natural, like honey is a good exfoliator. It has like antioxidants and stuff like that. And um, I just try to, like, I don't know, use things that work for me, like olive oil, shea butter. You know, if I find something that's good, I tend to like want to buy it over and over. I can't use everything because my skin doesn't take to everything. Because especially on my face, I have combination, so I can't use everything. So
Yes.
I just use what works for me, and sometimes I use old school remedies too.
Yes. Yes. But tell me right now, Chani, um, of course, anybody of us has some kind of a role model, you know, somebody to look onto
A
when
role
you would like
model?
to be like him, or yes, you have someone you like to be, you know, an artist you root for, you know.
Hmm. Does it have to be this age? Because I don't see nobody this age that I look up to. To be honest with you, if we have to go like old school, hmm. Okay, when it comes to dance,
We also,
one of my favorite artists. I say Missy
Yes.
Elliott because I love
Yes.
Missy Elliott creativity. I love Missy Elliott. She thinks outside of the box, and she's not one dimensional. Like she has a variety of things. She sings, she raps, she dances. You know, she produced. Like I really like her overall as an artist. So I would say, visually wise, I am inspired by her.
Yes.
Modeling, I would say I have a couple that I'm actually inspired by. One of it is definitely Naomi Campbell and Iman. Like they kind of represent that Afrocentric type of vibe. And the reason why I say that is because I'm part African, and growing up it was not easy. You know, I used to get made fun of all the time. They used to call me some names. I'm not gonna say it. So, you know, seeing that and this them being of a darker complexion actually was like, you know, it showed me like, okay, well, if they can do it, I can do it too. And I just noticed that over the years, you know, you started seeing people embracing more of, you know, the chocolate complexion, which is fine, you know, to each his own. But to say like nowadays, I don't really have anybody that can say like, oh yeah, I definitely want to be like that person. I think everybody has their own way, but what I've noticed is everybody's trying to be so different that they looking the same. So everything's starting to look washed down and just, you know, just I don't know, it's just all looking the same. And so it's like when you said that, you know, you see a lot of actors, singers, because it's like very competitive. Like, how do you separate yourself from that? Well, I figured out a way. I figured out a way. And just work on that. Meeting Venus. Oh.
Yes, Jenny, I want to ask you, during the last period, did you think about the target or like a dream you would like to realize in the upcoming period, or a project you want to focus on?
Upcoming projects. Well, I do have some that I am like putting together, and I'm also working with an artist that I'm gonna be like managing. As far as my videos, they're more of like visuals. I'm not I can sing, but I'm not a singer. So I do have some concepts that I want to shoot, and hopefully, you know, convey whatever feelings or emotions through the music in the visuals. I do have some personal projects that I am working on, and one is in regards to my son that I had. He was a preemie, and his whole birth story is truly a miracle, how everything happened. So I definitely want to bring light to that. So that's something you'll see when it happens. And I don't know, I just, you know, want to kind of get back into it, but right now I'm in mommy mode. So when it happens, you'll see it. Trust and believe. Oh, also, I'm also, I actually met somebody who does graphic designs for like films and stuff. Because there is a film that I have in mind that I actually did as a project for school. And I fell in love with it. And I'm like, I really would like the opportunity to shoot it. So that's something you can be looking forward to. I don't know how soon that's going to happen. We're going to write the script, but that's something that's in the near future.
Yes, I hope soon we're gonna see it, and you can invite us to its premiere soon. Jenny, I want to thank you very much for joining the live today in Monday.
Oh, you're
I wish you
welcome.
luck with your upcoming project. In all the things you do, you dream of. Say hi to your son from
Oh, thank
outside.
you. Thank you.
Wish you all the best personally and professionally. Thank you very much.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Have a lovely day. Thank you very much.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hello. Today I'm very happy to welcome for the second time in a row Miss Downa Lee Heising. She's an actress, producer, a star of genre films in the United States and renowned internationally. How are you, Downa? Thank you very much for accepting to come back again on our channel.
Well, thank you for having me on your show. I'm very honored to be here.
Downa, you remember 2 years ago we had you live and you spoke about many of your past projects, since you began, you have been in the entertainment industry for many years. And right now, I want to ask you a whole global question. You've been in a lot of films, I mean, horror, comedy, action, science fiction, and you've been around since the 80s. Of course, we know that a lot of changes have happened in the entertainment industry. Tell me, when you receive right now scripts, are there quality scripts like the one you received before 10 years, 20 years ago? What can you tell us about the quality of the writing right now in film production?
Well, as you know, I mean, I started on Blade Runner, but I had, and I started in huge projects which were major films, but I had small roles in them. So obviously those scripts were quality and they were quality films, but I was a dancer in Blade Runner. And I had small roles I was Cleo the Snake Dancer. I think we talked about it in Magnum PI, which was just a wonderful experience. But and then I left for about 10 years to be a vice president of marketing in technology companies. And that's where I learned my public relations skills, which I use today. But when I came back to the business a little more than 10 years ago, things had changed completely. Like anyone with a digital camera could make a film. And so I did in the beginning, I did everything I was offered because I wanted to get used to being on the set again. And I just wanted to, I wanted to find my way into the business. But the last 3 years have been, maybe 4 years, have been completely different for me. I've made a great effort to improve my acting skills and to improve the projects that I act in. First of all, I train with Matthew Arkin at South Coast Rep, and he's Alan Arkin's son. And then I trained with Carol Foreman on Shakespeare, and she's a Shakespearean expert. So, and I did Lady Macbeth's monologue, and then I did Hamlet, a monologue from Hamlet, actually for a comedy film because, Hamlet's male. But I learned a lot from doing those projects, and a big change in my career is being with Diana Carter, who's my agent and my public relations manager and my manager. She's incredible, and she handles Daniel Baldwin and Nicholas Turturro and huge stars. So since I've been working with Diana for the last year, the quality of the scripts and the films has just gone up tremendously. And that's what I want to do. I want to work on quality projects now with name people. Because we work so hard in this industry, you want the films that you do to make a difference. And I, as you know from our last interview, I've been in the public eye for so long. As you know, I've won over 100 contests. So I'm not in this for publicity. I'm in this to become the best actress that I can be. And so I am trying to do quality projects now.
Great. Donna, since we spoke last time, you spoke to me about your role in Paradise Motel,
Yes.
and after this film, it was a feature film, of course. You starred in not only feature films, but you did some shorts as well recently.
Yes.
What can you tell us about your recent shorts?
Well, actually, I'm really excited. I've done a number of music videos over the years, and they're some of my favorites because they're just so fun to work on, and I love music, and I'm a dancer. So I did this wonderful music video called Black City Nights, and it was by Always You, and it was directed by Nathan Castile, and the director of cinematography was Justin McWilliams. And if I don't say so myself, the music video is absolutely beautiful. It's won about, I would say, almost 50 awards now. I've been submitting it for the last year, and it's the one thing that I've been in that I know is always going to win an award because it's just such a quality production. Nathan and his crew were all USC graduates, and as you know, they have a wonderful film school. So I just thank God that I was cast in that music video. And then there's another film. Well, Paradise Motel was a wonderful project too. That I've been working on SAG projects for the last 2 years, and that's what I want to do. I mean, because pretty much if something is SAG, you know that you're pretty sure that it's going to be quality. In this business, there's always a question about funding and getting the right amount of funds to make the type of film that you want. But with Walter, it was a SAG film, and he paid us a lot. I'll say, and I'm very grateful to Walter for casting me in that film. I've won 4 Best Actress awards for the film, and the film has won tons of Best Feature Film awards. So it's a film I'm really proud to be in, and Walter is planning a sequel. I think we're going to shoot it in November. So
excellent.
That's going to be very exciting. But a film that I am really, really excited. Well, and also, let me say that Diana, my agent, has just been so wonderful to me. I did PTSD, A Soldier's Revenge, with her last year, and it starred a great actor named Robert Lasardo, Oksana Lara, Tom Sizemore, and Daniel Baldwin. And that that's a short film, and it should be coming out soon. I'm going to be in a film called Vampire with Diana. And also, I am really excited that I am going to be playing the goddess Athena in her film Deuce, which will be filmed in Thailand. So that's something that's going to be happening next year. And I'm just so honored and blessed to be with Diana and to have her trust me so much with these wonderful roles. And actually, on September 18th, I'm flying back to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania for the premiere of a series I did back there. And it's a hilarious miniseries called Recipes for Love. And it was written by Teresa Warwick, who's a fantastic writer. And it's so funny. And so we're going to have a huge premiere in Philadelphia. I don't normally fly across the country to attend premieres, but this one is this one's very special. So, and I play Ms. Fairchild in Recipes for Love, and she's a recurring character. So I'm going to be returning for the next season, and I'm just really excited about that. So Diana, keeps me very, very busy with quality projects.
Of course.
Right now, we just released to film festivals, not to the general public, but we just released a short film called Down and Out in Vampire Hills. And I am so proud of this film. It's a film that I did with my friends, but my friends are all professionals in the film business, and they live in Huntington Beach with me. My best friend is Dr. Rena Wolzinger, and she's an executive with a with a major virtual reality company. She's also the producer of my show Ion Entertainment, and so she and her husband Keith composed the original score for Down and Out in Vampire Hills, and it's in Grammy consideration right now. So I'm so excited about that. We've applied to the San Diego Comic-Con, and we're hoping to have a panel there. The film was written by Dr. Heather Joseph Witham, who is Rena's sister, but she happens to be a professor, and she's a vampire expert. In fact, she's doing a documentary I think it's in New Orleans right now as we speak. And so she wrote this hilarious script. It's Down and Out in Vampire Hills is a horror comedy, but it has just exceeded all of our expectations. And I expected a lot because of the people I was working with. The director and the editor is Craig Railsback, who's become one of my best friends. He directed Dark Classics for me, which was my Lady Macbeth monologue. And that's one, if I don't say so myself, it's won tons of awards. He directed Fireside Classics for me, and that was the Hamlet monologue. And Craig is an amazing, amazing director and cinematographer. And he's such a perfectionist that I know to have him finally release this film, I know that it's great. I haven't seen it yet. I want to wait till it premieres at a major film festival. I've put it into all of the major local film festivals, and it's only been released for a few days. So we'll see what happens. But and also Craig is Steve Railsback's nephew. And you might know who Steve Railsback is. He played Manson. He was in Barbed Wire with Pamela Anderson.
Yes.
Everything. But Craig is an excellent filmmaker, but he's also an American Airlines pilot. So we've been working on this film for 1.5 years. It's been a labor of love, and we've been doing it on weekends, and I've been getting my friends involved. And, you know, luckily my friends are all professional actors. LeJean Stewart, Bill Housekeeper, Debbie Dutch, Ken May, who is one of the stars of the film. And we just got a wonderful review today from one of my favorite reviewers, World Film Geek. And I hope that everyone will read this review. He gave our film an A-. And I'm so excited about that. I just can't wait till everyone sees this film. I've gone all out in the film festivals that I've submitted it to. We're hoping for the best with the Grammys, and we're planning on showing up at Comic-Con to premiere it. And so that's a film I'm really excited about. The trailer is released. It's only 1.5 minutes, but it's released, and it's on my Facebook page. And so, I mean, that is, to me, it's really, really exciting. And then one other film that I do want to talk about, because it's very special to my heart, as is Down and Out in Vampire Hills. It's a film called The Rose Wagon by Sandy Slavin. And I filmed that in Indiana last December. And I spent 3 weeks in Indiana filming The Rose Wagon. It's a SAG film, but we're still finishing it. In fact, Craig and his son Liam and I filmed, and Rena filmed a new scene for the ending of The Rose Wagon, which Craig says came out really great. I haven't seen it yet, but I can't wait to send it to Sandy. And The Rose Wagon, the director of photography is named Christian Griffith, and he is just so amazing. The original director, Christopher Michael Gatros, is a great director, and I worked with him in his film Live, Laugh, Die. But he developed gout during the filming, and so Christian kind of had to take over certain scenes, and Christian filmed one scene that I'm in, and he sent it to me, and I looked at that scene, and it has Xander Nicholson, who plays my grandson. It has Johnny Shandor, who's the star of the film, and who plays my granddaughter. And it has other people from the cast in the scene, but it's a scene about me talking to my son, who is played by Peyton Clark. And the scene is shot so beautifully that as soon as I saw the scene, I knew that it was special. And so I did something that I've never done before. I put it into film festivals as just a scene from the film or as a trailer. And it's won about 30 awards so far. So that shows you the quality of the film. And I just can't wait till everyone can see the film when it's finished.
Of course. Donna, you mentioned Eye on Entertainment, and you've been doing the show right now for more than 15 years. Do you go back to shoot more right now, interviews and red carpet, or you're busy with your acting career?
Well, it's like I'm working nonstop, so I'm pretty busy with my acting career. In fact, for the first time in my life, I've had to turn jobs down. I turned down a music video because I just didn't have time. And for me, I'm a workaholic, so for me to turn anything down is unheard of. But this is our 17th year, actually. And I love the show. It's still in existence. But in order for me to interview people, I need Rena to set it up. because she's the technical genius who sets it up in Zoom. And she got her job as a top executive with this virtual reality company. So the only time that we can do the show is like on weekend mornings. And I have just been filming nonstop across the country. So we haven't really, I put up short videos, that I can film myself, or, I put up things like my demo reel, or I do behind the scenes shows that I can shoot myself. But we haven't done a major interview with anyone for a few months because Rena's busy with her day job, which is incredibly important. And then, also, as I told you, Rena is in Grammy contention for Down and Out in Vampire Hills for the original score. So Rena's also a musician. So she's been busy. She and Craig have been so busy for the last year and a half on Down and Out in Vampire Hills. And I think once everyone sees the film, they'll see how much work went into it. It was just really a labor of love for all of us. So I mainly use the show to publicize the films that I'm in. And I do plan on doing interviews again as soon as Rena can fit me into her schedule. So,
of course. Yes. Dana, I want to ask you about something. Running through your filmography, how many films you did, and you work beside acting in many things off camera and in front of the camera. But right now, do you have a certain dream role or a dream story you would like to realize yourself, to perform, or to write it yourself, or to producing something you dream of?
Well, the films that I do myself, I always produce them. And it's mainly along with Craig and Rena. And I trust Craig and Rena with doing the heavy lifting because they're pros. Craig is the head of Railsback Productions, which is a professional movie company. And then Rena is the head of Renzone Music. So I know that anything I work on with Craig and Rena is going to be fantastic. So I executive produce it because I have a lot of contacts in the industry. And because I have so many friends that I do the casting, and I kind of serve as a line producer. I've been getting locations, but also Craig and Rena do it. And then a lot of times Rena has this huge house 2 streets down from me. So we shoot at Rena's house a lot. But I would say that my dream role is one that I already have. It's playing the goddess Athena in Diana Carter's Deuce, which will be filmed in Thailand. And what better role can you ask for? I mean, it's a lead role. It's a goddess. She's the goddess of wisdom. And Diana doesn't do anything halfway. Diana is dedicated to quality. And I just thank God that I'm working with her, because I know now that I'm going to reach the goals that I've set for myself in this industry. I started out doing huge productions. I started out doing small roles on major productions and on network TV. And my goal now is to work with major stars on streaming stations or on the 3 networks, and to get back to that. I mean, I think I've reached my goals in indie productions because I've worked with stars. And well, if you look at my IMDb, I've won like over 260 awards for the different films that I've been in. So I've pretty much reached my goals in the indie film category. but that's not saying, I mean, I do want to work with stars and I do want to have lead roles in more indie films. But
Of
my
course.
major goal is, you know, is to get back to like Netflix and Amazon Prime. And, you know, there's so many streaming stations that just to get back there.
Of
I mean,
course.
you know, Ion Entertainment was on Amazon Prime for 2 years, and then all of a sudden it's like Amazon Prime removed all of the shows, but they refused to take Ion Entertainment down. So if you search on Amazon Prime, Ion Entertainment is still listed there, but there are no shows attached. So I mean,
Yes.
it doesn't make sense.
Yes, but Dauna, I want to ask you maybe some kind of personal question. Sometimes, you know, I love science fiction and horror films myself, and sometimes when I see a movie with my wife, you know, and then we go to sleep, you know, my wife told me I was dreaming of this movie. I was dreaming of Freddy or Jason, you know, and stuff like that. You know, why you put for us horror films before we go to sleep, you know, but it's fun, of course. But I want to ask you, since you did a lot of genre films, did you know any scene or any character haunted you after you did the scene, you know, after you go home and you finish the shooting, you know, personally?
You know, I am a method actress, so I do a lot of research on my characters, and I do a background on each character that I do, and I try to become that character when I'm filming. But I played a lot of evil characters. Like one of my favorite scenes is Dustin Ferguson's Nemesis 5. And that I did that scene with Mel Novak. I did a scene that I really love with Dustin in Bubba's Dead, The Final Massacre, and I play the head of the evil family. You know, so I've played that character 3 times, and I'm not going to tell you what I do at the end, but it's a pretty incredible scene. It's on my YouTube channel under Ion
Yes,
Entertainment. You can find it. I
of
think
course.
that was a major scene to do, but it didn't affect me afterwards because she's so evil. It's not me. One scene that I think has or 2 scenes that I think have affected me are 2 scenes from The Rose Wagon. I play a mother who is very, very controlling, and she smothers her kids. And it's a family-friendly, SAG, you know, Christian film, but
Of course.
I have to cry over my son. And that's one of the scenes that Craig and I filmed just 2 days ago. I haven't seen the scene yet, but I'm sure it's going to be amazing because everything Craig does is amazing. But, you know, I'm really, my family is the most important thing to me. And when I have to dig deep and I have to cry over something happening to my family, then it does affect me. I mean, because when I cry, I'm really crying. Because you can't fake crying, you know. I mean, I watch all these true crime shows, and the way they can tell that people are lying is because there are no tears, you know, because everyone says they're innocent. I really cry when I have to cry, and so I have to really dig deep. And the 2 scenes from The Rose Wagon did affect me afterwards, but not in a bad way, just in in a connection to how much I love my family.
Yes. Yes. Great, Downa. I want to thank you very, very much for this lovely interview. I'm very happy about your success and your upcoming projects. Looking forward to see them all.
Well,
And
thank you.
best wishes in your upcoming shooting. You'll be traveling across the United States and also to Thailand. This is very exotic.
Yes.
Uh,
Actually, can I
yeah,
mention one more film?
of course.
I'm really excited about shooting Marlene Fields. Who's going to take care of me? I mean, I have a small role in it as a doctor, which is great, but what I'm really excited about is that I got all of my grandchildren into it. And I have 5 grandchildren. I have Emmy, Maya, Mason, Jackson, and Danny. And Danny is 3 years old. And I didn't really want to involve my family in my career because, as you know, my daughter's a psychiatrist. My other daughter is like a top salesperson for pharmaceutical companies. And so I didn't really want to get my grandchildren into the business, but Marlene had a really hard time finding a child who looked like her at 3 years old. And I looked at the picture and it looked just like my granddaughter, Danny, who is 3. So Danny is playing Marlene at 3 years old. Her brothers, Mason and Jackson, are going to be playing nice children in a church. I'm not sure, but they have scenes of their own. And then my older granddaughters, Maya and Emmy Halo, and Emmy just had a birthday. She just turned 13. Maya is 11. They're going to be playing compassionate children in a shelter. And this is a SAG film. It's a SAG family-friendly film. It's got a cast of over 100. So I'm really, really excited about that. Danny's going to be filming her scene on the beach on October 8th. And she's going to be spending the night with me, and I'm going to be taking her to the scene. So to me, that's really exciting because I do, I love horror. It's been really good to me. But my favorite genre actually is comedy, which Down and Out in Vampire Hills is a horror comedy. But I also love family films because the most important thing to me is family. So anyway, that film's very important to me.
Of course. This is great, Dawn. I look forward to see it as well. And I hope next year we can come to one of your films premiere in the United States as well.
Well, actually, I would, if it's okay, I have your email address. So I'm going to send you a copy of Down and Out in Vampire Hills. But it's not released to the public yet. So this is just for you to see. Okay.
With pleasure. I've seen the trailer. I've seen the trailer on the Internet Movie Database, and the photos. It sounds very, very nice, funny genre films,
Well, please let me know what you think, and I'll send it to you right after this interview.
Of course. With great pleasure, Downa. Thank you very much. Enjoy your success. Hello to all your family members. And I look forward for another interview about your new work in the upcoming weeks.
Yeah, I'll come back after I do Dukes, because I'm sure that I'll have tons to talk about with that.
Of course. Thank you very much, Downa.
Okay.
Have a lovely evening.
Okay,
Take care.
bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Good morning and good afternoon, UK. Today I'm very happy to welcome actress and painter Rebecca Grant. How are you, Rebecca? Nice to meet you
I'm
online.
lovely to meet you too. An honor to meet you, Sherif. I'm good.
My pleasure.
Yeah,
My
very good.
Yes, Rebecca, I've been running through your filmography. You have an official website as a painter, also your previous works in television, cinema, short films, everything. And I've seen you have also like some royal descendants as well. So, what can you tell us about your being growing up and getting interested into the arts?
Well, I suppose I never really had any toys growing up. Like, I didn't really play. I had toys, but I wasn't um, super interested in playing with toys as such. But my mum took me and my two older sisters to a ballet school, and our ballet teacher and mentor um, taught us the expression of dance and taught us to use our imagination through ballet and different styles of dance to tell stories. And so I got off my mum's lap whilst I was watching my sisters dance and started to join in. And the rest is history, really. And I started painting soon after. I enjoyed using my imagination for playtime. And then it turned into work, really.
Yes, and before we speak about your acting career, regarding your painting, how can you define your painting? It's contemporary painting, and what material do you use usually?
I'd like to say that I try and use all the styles that I've worked on my whole life. So all the different styles I've worked on, from abstract to illustration to impressionism, I have put it in one to create my own original art in my current collection. So there is abstract in there, there's illustration and impressionism. And my strokes are quite blocky when it comes to the illustration side of things. So you can see my set sail collection. You'll see the abstract of the gold leaf, the pouring paint, which is acrylic. And then for the boats, it's very illustrative and bold. Again, that's acrylic. I also used gold leaf. Some parts of it is impressionism. So yes, I would like to say all three: abstract, impressionism, and illustration. I want to build beautiful worlds and paintings with those three different types of styles that I've developed my whole life. And also, my grandfather was an artist in the south of France. He was very impressionistic with his work, and you can see by the brush strokes, it's very influenced by him subconsciously.
This is great, and I see as well in the same context you realize some shows as well, exhibition in England or outside of England.
Well, yes, I do. I have had lots of exhibitions in London growing up. I won a couple of larger competitions where I was awarded prizes by royalty, and that was one of my biggest exhibitions was in Hampton Court Palace when I was one of the winners for the Young Artists Award for Prince Charles's birthday. But now I prefer to keep my exhibitions exclusive. I am going to start doing events again and exhibitions, but a lot of my selling points are online or private viewings at my studio, which is now in Felbridge in West Sussex.
Yes, and your website is rebeccagrant.co.uk for
That's
viewers
right.
to discover it, right?
For the painting, it's rebeccagrant.co.uk.
Yes,
For the acting, it's rebeccagrant.biz, B-I-Z.
yes, great. So, Rebecca, this is about your painting. About your acting career, I have seen in your filmography that you realized several short films, right?
Yes, I've produced a couple of short films. I've done lots of TV and lots of theatre.
Yes, yes. Short films through your production companies, right?
Yes, yes, through my own
Yeah.
production company. I run a production company with a producer in America. It's called Red Boot Productions.
Yes.
And we're currently producing a play on the lives and works of Frida Kahlo. So that's going to be the next production.
Your next one. But in your production company, what kind of scripts and work you look for, essentially?
Well, at the moment, we were looking at quite a lot at scripts in regards to fighting human trafficking. I got Ben Highland, who is a fantastic writer and director. He wrote Safe Space, which is a film about human trafficking, and also anti-drug films as well. Anything that helps, people's lives or clears up the planet, I like to look at and make films out of them. I mean, at the moment, the short films, I haven't addressed anything with the short film side of things because we're looking at the life of Frida Kahlo as a theatre production. So yes, that's what I was looking at. It was mainly films about fighting human trafficking, which is basically the buying and selling of human beings and children, which is probably one of the world's biggest crimes at the moment. And so I like to create awareness of that because it's something that's not really expressed in our media. I think because it's quite a dark place.
Yes.
But there's ways to show that. Like if you watch Safe Space, it's not traumatic at all. It basically brings two women from the West and the East together, as you'll see.
Yes, regarding human trafficking, I've been seeing a lot of films during my festival travel, and especially, regarding women as well trafficking, especially women coming from Eastern Europe,
Yeah.
and sometimes, it's quite challenging for them, when you see this, either it's a feature narrative film or a documentary, you feel how challenging this is. This is for all races. I mean, for people also coming from, let's say, world premiere countries, something like that. So it's
Yeah.
been all around, and I think with the challenging around the world, if we are not conscious about it, it will be rising. So it's very good of you that you are looking for such scripts. And Rebecca, right now, I've seen that your latest television series was Queen of Mystery.
Yes, Queens of Mystery and BBC Show Trial. Those two shows came out at a similar time. But yeah, Queens of Mystery would be the latest because we're waiting for season 3, hopefully.
It's continuing. So
yes, hopefully we're just waiting to hear some news if that goes ahead. I'm keeping my fingers crossed, and so are the other actors. But yeah, Queens of Mystery is a fun, kind of cozy murder mystery, and it's very British. I play the forensic scientist and love interest of one of the leads. And it's really fun, and the audience loves it. And it's for Acorn TV, so it gets shown in America and all parts of the world as well.
Yes. Yes, I think I've seen a clip of that, in your show reel, your demo reel. But, speaking of British mystery series, in Egypt, I grew up watching, classic series. And I remember they used to co-produce it with the United States. I remember the classic The Prisoner, of course. And we used to watch, an anthology series called Thriller. I don't know if you have seen it or not. It was produced in the 70s, and it was quite similar to the Outer Limits, and Twilight Zone. It's a mix. It was it different themes. I mean, it was sometimes it's a mystery, it's a thriller. It has some glances of horror, like Hammer films as well. So And yeah, this is my memories with British produced television series. And
Yes, yes.
and right now, Black Mirror. I remember I've watched some of the episodes on Netflix as well. But tell me,
Yes.
Rebecca, as a woman performer, right now the roles offered to you in cinema or television is satisfying for you. I mean, or do you look as well through your production company for some different challenges? I mean, as an actress or producer.
Yeah, I think for the past few years, I feel like I've been probably limiting myself just to TV, which I don't mind, but I get seen a lot for like doctors and lawyers and detectives, and it's very much a similar tone.
Hmm.
Dry sense of humor, um, like has a vulnerable side but tough on the outside, blah blah blah. And I do enjoy them, but I suppose I want to explore other tones of characterization, possibly something that has a bit more action to it, because I do martial arts as well, and I'm restarting my training next week for Wing Chun and Pencat Silat, which is the two forms, and also Filipino Kali fighting is. I want to start going back to my roots because I used to do some Kali stick fighting. I want to go back to that as well, and I actually want to explore more action films, action type roles.
Yeah.
That's what I want to explore because I feel like I'm trying to fit into this mold of this dry sense of kind of, the word here is bitchy. And I'm like trying to fit in it. And I suppose it's not really me. I am
Hmm.
quite a happy, action-packed kind of girl. So yeah, I am going to explore. I'll keep my options open for TV, but I'm gonna explore more film and more action and other characters. That's not just in this kind of professional role of playing doctors or nurses or lawyers and detectives.
Yeah. Yeah. But what is your favorite action stars right now? Who, Jason Statham, for instance?
Oh goodness. God, I've had. I think it's always been Jackie Chan.
Jackie Chan. Yeah.
Yes, it's
Chan.
always. I was obsessed with Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan growing up. Just
Yeah.
absolutely. I think so that film in the Sahara Desert with Jackie Chan. I can't remember the film. It was one of my favorite films. Would you believe?
Yeah. I think it's
One of my favorite films.
Armor of the Gods Part 2, maybe.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's the end where he shows all the times he nearly dies with all these stunts, and I think I loved it. I just love his work, and Bruce Lee. Oh my gosh, I'm sending my son to martial arts. The same people that train me as well.
Yeah.
So he's starting next week as well.
Yeah. I watched my first Bruce Lee film, Enter the Dragon. I think I was 5 or 6 years old. And for us, at that age, he was an icon. I remember his posters were sold across the streets of Egypt, especially in the scene when, at the climate of Enter the Dragon, when he used to fight the chief gangster, and the chief gangster used to have some metallic tiger claws in his head, and he was hurting him all the time, give him a punch, this photo with him hurt all around like this was like everywhere,
Really?
when yes, 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 yes.
That's
But
funny.
I
That's funny.
I think Bruce Lee, I think, inspired many people. I don't know if you have seen few of the films his son Brandon Lee did, like The Crow,
Yeah, I
and
loved The Crow. I love
the
The
first
Crow.
one was excellent, and of course Jackie Chan and Jet Li, of course. They all the predecessor. They were got inspired, and usually martial arts cinema, in Hong Kong, are very inspirational for Hollywood and for European production. But tell me, do you like to do your own stunts if you have the chance, or do you
Of
find it
course, I'd love to do my own stuff. Well, yeah, because of my dancing career, I'm quite
Yes,
flexible.
yes,
And yeah, and I mean, I haven't really tried any stunts, but I have. Do you know what? I've done
yes,
Filipino dancing, Filipino traditional dancing. When I was a dancer, I trained a lot with Lahing Kayo Mangge, which is a Filipino dance troupe because of my background. And that included a lot of stunts. So imagine dancing between two bamboo sticks really, really
yes,
fast. The bamboo sticks are opening and closing, and you're dancing between the sticks. It's called tinikling. It's the dance of the bird between the sticks. When they used to kind of catch the birds, and imagine the bamboo sticks opening and closing rhythmically, and I'm dancing between. So I did that thousands of thousands. I did that on the Generation Game, which is a TV show here over in the UK. That's one hell of a stunt. And also standing and dancing on the bamboo sticks as you're lifted up in midair. That's a stunt. Also dancing with glasses on your head filled with that much wine and in your hands. That's called pandango benisuan. So spinning very, very fast and dancing with balancing that in your head.
yes,
That's a stunt. And the same dance, but with fire on your head in a glass,
yes,
like a little a candle, and in your hands. So yeah, thanks to my Filipino traditional dance background, looking at it, I've done quite a few stunts where you could have broken ankles or set yourself on fire. So yeah, jumping out of
yeah,
planes, not quite yet.
yes. Speaking of dancing, was some traditional Middle Eastern and Egyptian belly dancers. They used to dance with, a handful of candles, you know,
Ah,
uh, above their heads, and
yeah.
it's a very, it's belly dancing, but you have this big thing, like, uh, you know, and this
Mm,
used to be done, in classic dance 60s and 70s, the leading belly dancers in Egypt, especially
I
used to do
love
that,
them.
So it's very, very
Oh,
beautiful aesthetically as well, the aesthetics
yes.
and the movement is very beautiful, especially when they used to show the stuff on film. It used to be
Mm,
more beautifully aesthetic, in colors and movement.
mm.
So
I'm
I
sure
see.
the Filipinos and Egyptians and all that part of the world influenced each other with different styles
Of
of dance. I'm
course,
sure throughout the ages they picked up different styles from each other, you know? I love
yes,
it.
yes, yes. Between Africa, Asia, and also Latin America here,
Mm,
you will find a lot of common,
mm.
uh,
Yeah.
and interaction in dancing, and especially stuff with the nature and from heritage and
Mm,
stuff like that. But tell
yeah.
me, Rebecca, I see upcoming for you. You have a project called Artificial Twins. This is correct?
Yeah, I don't know much about it. My agent attached me to it. They got in touch with my agent. I don't know much about it, to be honest.
It,
But
it
yeah, I'm
seems like a
attached to that.
science
It sounds
fiction.
like a science fiction. Yeah. Yeah,
Yes,
I don't know too much about that as
yes,
yet, but yeah,
yes.
that should be fun.
And tell me, Rebecca, did you try to or did you travel to parts of the Middle East or Southern Asia?
Um, Let me see. Not quite yet.
Africa?
I've no, not yet, not yet. Maybe a film would get me there at some point. I did
Of course.
tell it. Yeah, I
It
was
will be
supposed to be
exotic.
filming in Morocco at some point, but I
Morocco.
couldn't do that job.
Beautiful.
I did a commercial in Tel Aviv years ago. Um,
Yes.
I've done plays in London where I've had to be from that part of the world, but yeah.
Yeah. No, I think it will be very interesting for you, given your interest
Mm,
in dancing, performance,
mm,
martial arts, and painting as well. I see you paint a lot of ships, on
yeah.
and in See, I think traveling will be is part of your character and discovering other culture as well.
Yeah, I would love to. I would love to live on a boat with my family at some point.
Yes, yeah. Actually, when we used to go to Cannes Festival, it's
Mm,
on the Mediterranean Sea.
mm.
The most effective and cheapest way to stay is to rent a small yacht. It's
Oh,
it's
nice.
it's very cost
That's
effective than
lovely.
Cannes Hotel. Yeah, so we
Well,
used to
yeah.
do that. And we used to be next to the Cannes Palace, to go to the movies every day. So I
Mm.
think you will love this experience as well.
Oh, that'd be lovely. That'd be lovely. Yeah, I think I will.
Uh,
I will stay on a yacht at some point there.
Rebecca, I want to thank you very much for the lovely interview.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
I know you're busy with many things. I look forward for your next, the new season, of course, of your series, Queens of Mystery, and
Oh,
also your
fingers
next
crossed.
show, next show exhibition. I hope we can come to at the opening.
Yes, yes.
And
I'll keep you
all
posted.
the best all the best wishes, in your acting and martial art careers, and best wishes to you and to your family.
Lovely, lovely, lovely to talk to you, Sherif, and all the best to you
Thank,
too.
thank you very much. Have a lovely afternoon. Thank you
You
very
too.
much.
Take care.
Bye bye. Take
Bye
care.
bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Good morning and good afternoon. Today I'm very happy to welcome a great belly dancer artist, Tamara, originally from Croatia, now talking to us from Vienna. How are you, Tamara? Welcome.
Oh, I'm doing fine. Great. Thank you. Thank you for invitation. Thank you so very much.
Thank you much. Thank you very much for joining the live. Tell me, Tamara, how did you got introduced to belly dancing, and what kind of teaching did you have until you become right now a professional belly dancer?
Yeah, it was, many people ask me this because, as you say, I come from Croatia, so I don't have really Oriental background, or I didn't never heard the music or something. But it was actually like a call. It was really like a call. I was I was just amazed by the ancient Egypt since ever, and I felt a very deep connection to the art and to the history and also to the spiritual life. And it was from inside out. It just came. It called me, and then I started to learn it and to go international. And you're Egyptian. Maybe do you know the name Hossam Ramzi?
I might know him because I know there are a lot of teacher, men and women, teaching belly dance in Europe. In the United States, also, I have a friend, belly dancer from Persian backgrounds,
Yeah.
and I imagine you visited Egypt, of course.
Yes, of course. I mean, he was Egyptian and he lived in UK. He is a big
In the
star.
UK.
He wrote
Hmm.
a lot of music for us, and I actually made my degree in UK with him in 2014, 15 at his
Yes.
Transit Schools of Music and Dance. And of course, I was in Egypt. I was invited to dance on the festivals and to teach there and to perform. And yeah, of course, I was in Egypt.
Yeah, in Egypt there was a festival inviting belly dancer from all over the world. I think it was organized by Rakia Hassan.
Yeah,
Maybe,
Rakia
of,
Hassan, of course, yeah.
well, yes, I met her once, of course, when I was in Egypt, and of course, in Egypt we have the old market called Khan El Khalili, you know.
Yes, I was there, of course.
I remember also there is a designer who designs belly dancing outfits. I don't
Yes,
know if you have been there, because
yes,
my Persian friend used to go and buy for herself and her student for
yes, of
her
course I was there.
New
It,
York school.
it's
Yes.
amazing. It's just amazing.
But
Yeah,
tell me, I see in your room you have the Nefertiti, you have the Key of Life.
yeah, of course.
My wife also loved Egypt, you know.
Oh,
My first gift with her was a necklace with Horus eye, you
oh,
know,
beautiful. Yeah.
from downtown Cairo. But tell
Oh,
me, Tamara, how many countries did you visit?
oh, actually, quite a lot. I was from 2016 till actually 2019.
Uh-huh.
Through every year I was in somewhere else, especially in USA. I was in Hawaii Belly Dance Convention. I was in Miami. I was in Australia. I was in, of course, in Europe and in Egypt. So I was quite traveling a lot, and then came pandemic, and we all know the story how it goes.
Yes.
And so especially for the artist it was over. And but I was yeah, I'm certainly and very happy that it will start again, that I can go and travel and perform internationally, because this is something very special, you know, like, you know, it like your friend probably told you, belly dancers from all the world come together. It's a big thing, you know. We really enjoy time, and in Egypt is something very special, you know. When you go to the Nile, you know, to the cruisers, and you know how it is in Egypt. They all leave after midnight, you know.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you know how
yeah.
it is, you
No,
know. It's a
nobody
special
sleeps. Yeah. You know, stores are open until the following day, and also the kiosk selling stuff, of course.
Yeah, of course. I mean, the life is in the night because it's so hot, you know, and
Of
everybody is
course.
outside, and it's something, and you hear the music, the darbuka, the drums, the dancing. Yeah, it's amazing.
Mm. You know, in Egypt, we have part of the customs that people hire a belly dancer or more in weddings.
Yeah, I know, of course, I know. I dance for weddings too. I dance for birthday
Yes.
parties. I dance for
And
a lot. Yeah.
sometimes, you know, about videos in TikTok and social media, sometimes the bride gets jealous because the belly dancer is very beautiful and astonishing. Did this ever happen to you? Did your eye meet the bride and
Yeah.
appear it was a little bit jealous because
No, you know.
her would-be
Yeah.
husband is very is very happy.
I know, but you know, it doesn't happen to me. You know why? Because
Uh,
I really take care. Because you know, I'll tell you something.
mm,
This dance actually started with women. It's for women.
of
So
course.
the belly dancer should be very, very careful with this, you know.
Yes.
And when I dance, especially when there are men and women together, I really have
Yes.
to tell you, I never pay attention to men. Also, when he
Yes.
is a groom, I go to her. She is the one who is important for me. And then
Yes.
she's happy and everybody is happy. You know, you have to make woman happy. Also as a dancer, because men, they enjoy anyway, you know, they have their fun. But you have to pay attention as a belly dancer more to women, because it is from ancient times our dance, you know, and it is very important to keep this spirit alive and to make
Yes.
women happy. Men, they are happy anyway when they see a belly dance. I don't have to pay too much attention to
Yes.
them.
Yes, and Tamara, you have a website, of course, it's in English and in German, you know, since you are based in Vienna, in Austria.
Yeah.
You give courses as well right now. How can people hire you if somebody
Yeah.
would like to have a course? You have a
Yes.
school or online?
Mostly is yes. When somebody wants to have one-to-one tutorial,
Yes,
of course
yes,
they can contact me over my email address, over my website. and www.tamarabelledance.com, and
Yes.
there you can hire me. So online, if you're not in Austria or somewhere near, or if you're in Austria or maybe in Vienna, of course we can go to the studio and do it in a studio. Normally, I am more performer, I have to tell you. I'm teaching, but first of all, I'm a performer. And I'm teaching when people want really seriously to learn this beautiful art of dance, of belly dancing. And then, yes, I can also teach the groups or one-to-one. I'm really very, very open for, what customer wants. Everything is possible.
Yes. And I want to ask you if you have seen some of the classic Egyptian films, black and white films, of course. We used to have very beautiful belly dancers like Tahia Karyoka, like Samia Gamal. Who
Suhail
else?
Zaki, Fifi
Suhail Zaki.
Abdul, Nagwa
Yes.
Fuad.
You have seen their videos and
Yes, I have
dancing?
seen it on Arabic. It was wonderful
Yes.
because they didn't have a translations, You
Yes.
know the old
But
movies.
the belly dancing scenes were very crucial to films,
Oh,
especially musicals with
oh,
Abdel Halim Hafiz, with Farid Al Atrash. You
Kulthum.
might not, Kulthum, of course. Did you get inspired by the dance? What do you think about the dancing in that era?
I
I mean,
think
the
this is the
movement, the choreography.
yeah.
Mm,
I thank you for asking me this.
uh-huh.
I think this is the original authentic belly dance art.
Hmm.
I'm a little bit sad what happened to it now,
Yes.
and what happened actually past 20 years. I know you
Yes.
know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
And but this golden age era, Nagwa Fuad, Soher Zaki, Fifi Abdu, Tahia Kareoka, songs since 1940 till 1990, yeah,
Yes.
this was the
Yes.
best and the most. And I met Mona El Said in the last festival where I was.
Yes.
And when you are near this, and I was dancing in front of her, and this was really a big challenge. I was dancing in front of many people who were in this, in this golden time when they were dancing and
Yes.
teaching. And it was, it was a nightclub. It was something very special to watch belly dancing because it was
Mm-hmm.
art. And this is what I want to keep alive today. This is also when I'm going out, this is also what I want to show to the people. This is the art of belly dance. This is so deep and this is so beautiful, and the music. And I think it's actually every school have to teach it. This is like you are a classical performer, you're playing violin, and then you don't know who is Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart,
Yes.
It's impossible when you are a belly dancer, a professional. You have to know all of them. You have to know how they dance. You have to know their styles because they are belly dance art.
Of course. I would like to suggest you a book by a leading film critic. It's in English. It was published by the American University in Cairo. It's called Dream Makers on the Nile. And
Wow.
it talked about, I think you can find it on Amazon. If you browse by film critic Mustafa Darwish. Unfortunately, he was a leading film critic. He teach me a lot. He passed away right now.
Wow.
And you can it's a very small booklet like this, but you can know a little bit about the early days of Egyptian cinema, especially musicals and black and white era, because
Send me
even
please the name of the book via email. This would be
sure,
cool.
sure.
Yeah.
Tahia Karyoka and Fifi Abdu, they came from the countryside.
Yeah, I know.
And in Egypt, in the early 20th century, we had until now a street called Club Bay, and it was full of nightclubs at the time.
Yeah, Oh,
And
this was the time.
their main teacher, people who used to go there used to go to the main, teacher. Her name was Badia Masabni. Maybe you heard her name. She was the one who taught Tahaya Karyuka and many of this generation
Yeah,
to dance in the club. Then they were,
yeah,
hired to be actress
yeah.
in Egyptian cinema, or only dancer. But Samia Gamal and Tahia Karyuka became very renowned actors as well.
Yeah, I know.
Uh,
Samia Gamal was of course a huge star. I mean, and she's also for me one of the really role models. Of course, a role
yes,
model.
and this era, each era had in all around the world, also in Europe, each era has its own aesthetics and beauty.
Yes.
And if you look at the movie that time, you notice how the actors were very handsome, and even who play villains in the movie,
Yeah, yeah,
and yeah, they were very elegant at the
yeah,
time. Even my father, all the time he used to wear a suit and tie,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
even when we go out, to see a movie. So
yeah.
this era, was very. If you see photos of Egypt, Cairo, Alexandria, in
I
old
know.
photos, very
Amazing.
beautiful.
Ah,
And yeah, I want to ask you right now, Tamara, do you have plans this year? What do you like to do after the pandemic and things are
oh
picking
yes.
up right now? Mm,
Oh yes, I do. I wrote a documentary actually. It's
bravo.
finished.
Hmm.
Yes, but I have to, maybe somebody hears your
Uh-huh.
interview because I was before pandemic. This was actually just 5 minutes before pandemic came with
Uh-huh.
the help of my friend, who is an actress and also she writing scripts because I can't write. She can write script,
Very
but
good.
it's my documentary about art of belly dance, and it's amazing. No, I'm searching, of course, for producers.
Hmm.
So during pandemic, they didn't work a lot either. So this is something I would like to start because I think it's different from all documentaries made, and I want to do it on a. I mean, my aim is to do it big, not only in YouTube, but just many people, uh, many people really can see what what is this art of belly dance indeed,
Yes.
and the spirit of it. I really am a little bit, worried that the spirit of it, through all this, we live in very shallow times where all the shallow stuff is more important,
Yes.
and this is not what it is. And I want that people go back and look inside and really to feel it for what it is, and it is the art form.
Yes. Speaking of documentary, you reminded me, I have a friend from England.
Hmm.
She's a belly dancer. She's British. And if I remember well, she was married to an Egyptian. And she used to write with me. And you used to write in a magazine called Egypt Today. It's in English.
Wow.
You
Is
can
it
find
Serena?
my.
Was it
It's
Serena,
on.
maybe?
It's online. You can find my old articles there if you write EgyptToday.com.
Oh,
And
yes.
my friend, she's a writer and a belly dancer. Her name is
Cool.
Francesca, but she used to go by the name of Yasmina.
Ah, okay.
And as well, I remember she interviewed me, sometimes she used to interview me for articles about history of Egyptian cinema. And also
Mhm.
she did a documentary about belly dance. I will look up her email and send it to you. Maybe you can collaborate
Yes.
on something.
Oh, yes, please. Amazing. You see how wonderful is it to collaborate. It's beautiful.
Yes,
So this would be my something what I really would, and of course, travel again and to perform
of
and to
course.
be
Of
on stage.
I imagine for all artists, dancer or actor in theater, or solo performer, the main essence is to perform in front of live audience. It has a special feeling regardless of anything you can do online. Am I correct?
You are very correct. You
Mhm.
know, just the differences between the actors for film, because my
Yes.
friend, she says she can never go in front of live audience. She loves the camera and she loves the movie. And
Yes.
I'm the opposite. I love live. And this is what you said just now. When I go out and I see people, and this is, you can never get it online. So this
Of
feeling,
course.
this energy, this adventure. It is adventure for both, for artists and for the audience. So
course.
this is a live performance you can never, ever, compare to online stuff. Never. This
Very
is the source of our artistic soul.
great. Tamara, I want to thank you very much for the live. I
you.
hope we can share it, for your friends and to know more about you who have seen you live or online. And I hope next time we can do an interview when your new documentary is finished.
Oh, inshallah.
Inshallah. Okay.
Thank you so
Thank
very much.
you.
Please send me this link and
Of
this
course.
stuff.
Of course, with pleasure. Dankeschön.
Sehr gerne. Bye to Ecuador. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Today, I'm very happy to welcome an actress, writer, producer, basically from Toronto, Canada, but she's been around the world, Catherine Abuya. How are you, Catherine? Thank you very much for joining the live.
Thank you for having me.
I see you've been traveling in Mexico right now. How is your Spanish right now?
Working on it, getting. I was come from London and France and Italy, so the
Yeah.
language. is a little bit
Trying
tough.
to, yes. For me, learning Spanish was easy because I was in French school and in the verbs and a lot of stuff is very clear. When I got married to my wife, I started to speak Spanish in a year, but I forget the Italian a little bit. I used to travel to Italy frequently to Venice Festival and Rome and stuff like that. But thank you very much again for joining the live. I want to ask you first, how did you start feeling interested to become a performer? Since the beginning, at a young age? Yes.
Very much so. And when
Yeah.
I was little, I asked my mother if I could be an actor.
Really?
And yeah, she said, "Oh no, I wrote a little blurb. It said, what do you want to do?" And
Yes.
I said, I want to heal the world and become an international corporate lawyer and an actress.
Yes.
That was maybe when I was 7 years old, I think. So
Yes. But did you study law or did you change the direction of your study when you start to grow up?
I went, my mom passed when I was 16 and I decided
Really?
to not, I went to university for about a year and a half doing business and economics, and then I left and I took a one-way flight to Paris. And then that took me on a very interesting journey. So
Yes. And tell me, when do you, I seen you did a lot of short films, television series in the last, let's say, 10 years, right? Regarding the short films you played in, do you think they are a good medium, to promote yourself as a performer? Because until now, short films, are confined to be screened in film festivals, or right now there are a lot of platforms screening shorts. But at the time when you did these films like Home, Away, and Return, did they give you like a push to be cast in television roles and cinema roles later on?
they did, because then you have demo reel material that you can
Yes.
show to agents. So
Mhm.
I started off at zero. I was in the oil trading business before, and I got into
Mhm.
film. So I remember going to set, and they had a beautiful table laid out with roast beef and salads, and it was a beautiful spread. And I went and I took a plate, and you could hear a pin drop because that was I was an extra, and the extras were the peanut butter and jelly table.
Yes.
And they said, that food isn't for you. I said, what do
Yes.
you mean? They said, your table is over there. And I said, well, my plate's made now, so I'm not going. I went from two very different lifestyles. So I started off, okay, well, how do I get some footage? I'm not going to get anything from working as an extra, but I learned how a set works. And so the short films are a good way to get some demo reel material, so then you can show it to an agent, so then the agent can then get you bigger roles. So,
Yes. Yes. So this helps to get more casting calls, and also to create your own show reels showing master scenes you played in. I want to ask you, accidentally speaking about petrol, you starred in a television series called Petrol and played a character called Samira. So this came accidentally, not related to your past studies.
it was a friend of mine, an Afghani actor named Ken Mahon. He was playing. He is Afghani. He said that we need someone to play my wife, and I have some luck with dialects and accents, that kind of work. So he said, "Will you?" It was an easy in. So he said, "Hire her as my wife." So we did one episode, and then the series didn't get renewed, but it was a good. I have some good demo reel footage from it. So.
So you're good in accents. You can play like an American, or like speaking English with Afghani accent. Do you train yourself, or do you use the help of dialogue coach on set?
So far, I haven't had a coach provided for me on sets. They've been smaller sets, so I just call friends that are from whichever country I'm auditioning for, and
Yes.
I sit with them for about 8 hours, and they go through the lines with me, and then I watch their mannerisms. And so my father is Indian,
Yes.
so I get my Indian accent is, we do a lot of joking around with that.
Of
but
course.
I've auditioned for everything from Russian, Spanish, French, Italian, Israeli, Afghani, Swedish. I've auditioned for many different characters. So the only way that I do it is I just sit and I listen to the person, and I almost sound like them by the end. Like their tone is the same. So it's more of like a parroting type thing.
You can do an accent like Peter Sellers in The Party.
I actually had to do that a week ago, 2 weeks ago in Croatia, because my friends said, "Oh, I loved Peter Sellers." So I mean, I do when I tell a story about. I had a small role in a film called Downsizing. The director was Alexander, and I had a scene where I had to roofie Matt Damon.
Yes.
And I always tell the story of my aunt who said, "Jenny, what's the last thing you did on set?" And I said, this was a couple of years ago. And I said, "Well, I was in a film with Matt Damon." And she goes, "Who's that?" I said, he's a pretty famous American actor. She goes, "So what did you do?" And the thing is, I don't know if you've seen the scene or not, but I have to essentially.
Yeah, I've seen the film, but I don't remember the scene. But you can tell me about it. Mm-hmm.
I essentially have to take an ecstasy pill, put it on my tongue, and make out with Matt Damon and get him high. That's my whole. So it's not exactly a great traditional Indian thing, So she said,
yes.
"How many lines did you have?" And I said, "Oh, I didn't really have any lines, so to speak." "So what did you do?" I said, "Well, I had to help Matt relax a little. He was uptight." And I'm trying to, in my head, I'm thinking, "Oh, I don't want to say what I did. I have to try and get around this." So she's asked me, "What did you do? How did you do it?" And finally, I just said, I had to kiss him, and I passed a pill. It was an ecstasy pill. She goes, "So you're telling me that you kissed a man who is not your husband, and you got paid to do it?" And I said, "Yeah." She goes. She says, "Danny, this is called prostitution." I thought, okay, thank you for humbling me. Everyone else said great job, but it was, your family always has a way of bringing you back to life, back to earth. So. And
did she see the film or no? She went to rent the film to see the scene or not?
No, I don't think she saw it. Her daughter though sent me a message, "Why the hell am I seeing you on the big screen with Matt Damon, making it with Matt Damon, you never told me anything. And I said, I was under NDA with Paramount. I couldn't say anything. And she goes, stop talking
Of
like a
course.
white woman. Family, So,
I think you did your role in a couple of days because it's more than like one scene or something like that. But I want to ask you about your experience in a big film set, like downsizing. It's a big Hollywood studio production with a lot of special effects. But tell me, what is your experience about it, being in a big production like this?
well, the director was extremely kind. Everyone on set was extremely kind. I think they were also worried about it's a big scene with Matt. And they want to make sure it felt
comfortable.
Yes. So they were very, very accommodating, very polite. As soon as I got on set, they introduced me to everyone. Matt came with chocolate covered espresso beans. He said, do you want some? And I said, I actually went off coffee for this scene, so I'm not shaking when I'm doing. And he said, oh, well, did you get headaches? And I said, yeah, big ones. And he said, oh, I got headaches when I was doing the Bourne film. And I didn't mean to, but I said, how did you get so fat after, if you just shot it down? He lifted up his shirt and he had like a fat pack. And so being on set was interesting because in between when I was waiting to be called for my scene, I would go up to different people and ask them what they were doing. And they were really lovely, really accommodating, really kind. And it was definitely nerve-wracking, but I remember at one point we were about to do the scene. I'm looking over for my mints. I had my mints and some deodorant, some perfume, and the pack is gone. It's gone somewhere. And I went, oh no. And this woman says, what's wrong, sweetheart? And I said, oh, I have these mints and I'm supposed to be making it with Matt Damon. I don't know what to do. And she goes, oh, here. And she pulls something out of her pack and gives it to me. I said, thank you so much. You're like a fairy godmother. And it turned out it was Matt Damon's makeup artist who travels with him all over the world. So yes. I think depending on the director, there's a real family environment. One of my acting coaches said, you can always tell how well the film is going to do based on the number of fights you have on set. So every film starts as a 10 out of 10. And for every major fight you have on set, take off half a star.
Yeah.
So there was a very beautiful energy that was there.
Speaking of love scenes, I remember two things right now. There is an actress, I think maybe Nancy Allen, or she was speaking about her experience, doing a love scene, like every day she was doing her role and everything is okay, and then the day of the love scene, every producer, who didn't come on set since the beginning of shooting used to come, at that day, So this is one thing. The other thing, I don't know if you have seen the movie Basic Instinct with Sharon Stone and Michael Douglas. And before the release of the film, at the time we didn't have internet like now, So I used to buy the magazine called Premiere. It had a French edition and an American edition. And they used to do this big coverage on films before the release, And I remember they did like a feature on Basic Instinct, and they were saying how about the love scene between Michael Douglas and Sharon Stone, and how the director Paul Verhoeven used to repeat and give them guidance, do this and do that. No, kiss her more, kiss her less, and stuff like that. And then at the end they say, well, Michael Douglas was a very gentleman, after the director says cut, he used to cut for Sharon Stone. So I think it's a, very critical experience, it's like they say in the United States, it's part of the job,
We have 300 extras around. The camera's right there. You've done it. We did it the first time with, we obviously Matt's coverage first. Yes. We did the kiss and just turned the cameras around, and I said, Mr. Payne, I'm sorry, but after having read the script, I think that if this is the scene, that this is the point where his whole life turns around, I think it has to be a more intimate kiss. It has to be more passionate.
Yes.
And the other people on set kind of look at me like, who is this chick? And he goes, she's right. She's right. Put the cameras back. So we did the scene, and then we're kissing, and I have he's like, put your hands through his hair, rub your hands through it. So I'm doing that. We're kissing, and it feels like it's forever. And then the DP goes, should we cut? He goes, yeah, cut. So we cut, and then Matt goes, I feel like I was just directed in a porn.
Great. Matt Damon is a very good actor, and he did a lot of film related to the Middle East as well. And I like his choices. He likes to change a lot of his choices, and genres as well. But I want to ask you, right now, the last 2 years, we had challenges around travel and COVID and everything. I want to ask you, as a performer and you're looking for new role, took some time to rethink about your career and imagine or look for something you would like to achieve in the next coming period?
We've been looking, we have a group of really beautiful souls that have come together, producers, directors, investors, writers, actors, musicians, composers. We've all been connected around the world. For some reason, for me, after COVID, during COVID, I ended up traveling more than I had in the past 7 years.
Yes.
So we're looking to start essentially a new media company where everything is done with unity and sovereignty consciousness, where extras get the same food that the big stars get on set.
Yes, big trailers as well, and assistant and
exactly. Because there's no difference. Why should everyone should be having high vibrational, beautiful food. We should be treated with respect and equality. And that's how we all have seen, that's the thing that unites us, this team, is that we want to set a new precedent for how film is made globally. And we have people from everywhere, all over the world. We meditate each week together, particularly for this film that I'm writing at the moment. That's why I'm here in Ixtapa. With my scriptwriter, we're doing a final draft before we deliver it to the director at TIFF.
Excellent.
So
yes, best wishes. Yes, TIFF is upcoming in a couple, in a month. I think it's by the end of September. I think early October. Yes.
Well, what's happening at the end of the month?
I'm saying TIFF is coming in this period by the end of September, October. TIFF, Toronto International Film Festival, right? It's coming soon.
This year is the 8th to the 18th of September.
Yes, it's next month. Great. Tell me, Catherine, right now, coming from different backgrounds, right now, do you have something you would like to, or an idea you would like to realize, related to your background, your Indian background?
Yes. Currently, we're the film that I pitched at Cannes and also Ushi.
Yes.
Story of an Indian goddess of lightning. And
great. Something very nice, spiritual, related to old heritage. Mm-hmm.
It is, and also the whole reason that we're doing the film is I wondered how we could activate people globally in a very fast manner, and film was the first thing that came to mind, because we wanted to entertain them and have them enjoy themselves, but also show them that the electricity and magnetism, lightning and thunder, male, female, yin yang, all of that together, once you're in balance within yourself of those two, the masculine and the feminine, regardless of your gender, that this is when you have a heart that's open. And I won't get too much into the whole thing, because I'll share the links afterwards for the pitches at Cannes and Ushi. But essentially, it's teaching us how to live in divine union and how to get our power back, because everything, many things at the moment will distract you or take you away or keep you in a low vibrational energy. And what we're trying to do is do the exact opposite to that, and show you just how powerful you truly are and how powerful you've always been.
Yes.
And I think there's different religions that come into it, but it's more based on spirit, the essence of spirituality and the oneness and the light and the connection we have to each other. And I was actually looking when I was researching you, and I saw that you had been in Cairo and Alexandria.
Yes, I'm Egyptian, or yes. Yes.
Pardon me?
I'm Egyptian. Yes. Yes, we've been in Egypt all my life, but only last year we came back here with my wife, with Colombia.
Oh, okay. So I'm sure you're missing it, no?
Of course. My wife loves Egypt as well. Love Egypt and everything. We've been on all the north and the south, and in many festivals, and She loves Egypt, you know.
I can't imagine anyone that wouldn't. I haven't been yet. I greatly look forward to going there one day.
Yes, I hope we can invite you with your next film to Cairo or Alexandria Festival.
I would be honored. There's there are many people on the team who have spent past lives there and have rich history with Egypt, and this is one of the
yes,
back to a future mankind.
Biogeometry.
Yes. By Ibrahim Karim, it's solutions to the global environmental crisis, new energy secrets of ancient Egypt and the Great Pyramid revealed. And so it's an incredible book. I met one of his colleagues, Pier Paolo Alberghini, who explained biogeometry to me. And there's another book here, Geometry Signatures, Harmonizing the Body's Subtle Energy Exchange with the Environment. And they're beautiful books that I thought you'd be interested in because they're based on this ancient technology and this knowledge that the Egyptians had. And they're fascinating reads. And this is woven into the film, even though it's a sci-fi political thriller.
Yes.
We're weaving this knowledge into the film so that when people watch it, that whether they realize it or not, they're getting these activations, this knowledge. And they're able to go at the end of the film to our website and see how to use it themselves in their day-to-day lives.
Yes. I don't know if you are familiar about the knowledge of Tesla experience to generate infinite energy. And I think Tesla used to believe that the Egyptian already generated electricity, you know, and used the pyramids to do so, you know, in the old time. But of course, there was, I think, like some kind of civilization gap that made us lost of the science discovered by the ancient Egyptians, you know. And we right now humanity tries to rediscover what they know about, especially about geometry, about physics, chemistry, of course, about mummification. It's obvious, you know, people are still studying mummification and energy, you know, and still as well the temples and the pyramids are quite you know, it's a mistake about the way the Egyptians constructed them until now. You know, there are theories, but you know, but they are not sure how they constructed these temples and the pyramids until now. You know, carrying these big bricks and and also the location of the pyramids. Since you are in Mexico, also there is a lot of study about the location of pyramids in Mexico and in Egypt, related to the Earth's magnetism as well. So I think I will try to recommend for you a website about sacred geometry of a friend of mine, writer, who used to come to visit the pyramids with intellectuals and Hollywood celebrities like Robert Duvall, you know, used to come to do a visit to the pyramids, you know. You will find interesting her books as well. You know, she lives in New York.
Thank you. I would appreciate that. Great.
Catherine, it was a pleasure talking to you. I hope I wish you all the best in your upcoming projects, in your research and polishing your new projects. You know, I look forward to see your new upcoming films, television series. And if you like to come to Ecuador anytime, you are most welcome. You know, it's a very nice place here. Latin America also has its magic, and I think you are discovering it right now. And I look forward to attend the premiere of your next film. Don't forget to invite us.
Oh, we'll all be there together. Right? Big hug. I actually wanted to share with you one thing that came to me in a dream from Tesla about 3 years ago.
Yes.
He said it was him when he was older, in his 80s, right before he passed.
Yes.
He came and he said, if you focus your intent on your dreams or on your goals, you'll have everything you want.
Excellent.
Like he just said, focus, just have extreme focus. There's no veering. The focus is the only thing. And then he said it will all come. So I will just show you, I'll give you a little
Sure.
goodbye view so you can, I can send you the energy of the water.
Ah, very beautiful.
Isn't it beautiful?
Excellent. Yes, very, very nice. This is like a scene, very inspirational. You know, it can overcome any kind of writer's block.
Very much so. It was so lovely to meet you. Thank you for your time and energy, and I look forward to meeting you in person.
Of course, of course, of course. Wish you all the best in TIFF and your scripts, and we'll keep in touch to know about your new project and your new success.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Catherine. Have a beautiful day. Take care.
Same to you. Take care.
Ciao.
Bye.
Bye.